We're going to reconvene our regular meeting. And at this time, I'm going to call on Commissioner Goblin to do our invitation and our pledge of allegiance, please.
All right, let us pray. Most glorious and almighty God, we thank you for this day. And then for Sampson counted in the things that we do, Lord. We ask for the wisdom and knowledge. Bless this meeting that we get understanding. And when we leave this place, Lord, we will be better off. Thank you, Lord, for all that has happened to be able to make us better. Thank you for our county managers standing in place to be able to check our minds out, our hearts out, to see the way that we would go. But we truly want to follow a way that is pleasing to you. Now, Lord, we give you glory and honor for this blessed day. And we thank you now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Let us pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor? Motion so carries. All right. Sir, would you like to, you just start reading and you just run with this thing. This is your day.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's the board's day, but I'm really glad to be here to help facilitate. A little bit of housekeeping just as we begin to the members of the audience. For the first 15 minutes or so, this is going to be the configuration. If you would like to slide your chairs up so you can have a better view of the screen, the magic's going to happen right here for just a little while. And then after that, you will see probably something you haven't seen in a few years, Commissioners. We're going to be asking you to move all around the room. Today is not a regular board meeting. Today is a workshop. And as I told Commissioner Lee, I did not bring the rakes and the shovels, but we've got plenty of other stuff for you to do.
All right.
Now, if halfway through you feel like you need some exercise, we can do laps around the building. But until then, I promise you, even if you're in this room, you might sweat a little bit because it's got a lot of heavy lifting tonight. But we do have some good information to pass along to you. So just kind of starting out, we want to give you and members of the public a little bit of information. So when you're talking about starting a budget process and you're talking about services and the goals of the county, it's often done that you would kind of compare yourself to some other counties, and that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing to do. But there are a lot of different ways to do it. The North Carolina Association of Counties, as well as the North Carolina Department of Revenue, give us some methods. But I have already gotten ahead of myself, so I should have looked at the slide and started with disclaimers. Have you ever seen a drug commercial on TV? And when they advertise the drug commercial on TV, right, they say, this product may cause the following side effects. And they talk really fast, and there's a lot of disclaimers. So at the beginning of this meeting, I would like to give the following disclaimers. First of all, you're going to see numbers today. These numbers are estimates, projections, initial calculations. They are subject to change, and in fact, they will change. But they are the best numbers that we have available to us as of today, February 10th, 2025. So this is not based on just guessing. They're based on projections. We're 7 months into the year. We know in past years what we've done, and we've worked with the tax office, especially the finance department's worked with the tax office to pull some things together to show you. Okay? But
one number, it should be 2025, it's 2024. I just want
well,
go ahead.
that's just to see if you were paying attention, sir. In terms of housekeeping, there will be some breaks through the evening. I ask everyone to please set your phones to silent, including those in the audience. Food and drink is going to be provided. We want you highly caffeinated and ready to move as we need you to move this evening. So we're going to have some things here. We're going to take a break for dinner. We'll have some chicken salads for y'all this evening because this is a multi-hour meeting we anticipate. Now, you may have some questions on some of this initial data. In fact, we've got some pads and some pens for you. And if you have a question that immediately comes to mind, or at any time during the meeting tonight, please write it down. Because you're going to spend a lot of time in an exercise, a prioritization and goal-setting exercise this evening, we may not have the ability to camp out a long time on some of the numbers that you're going to see initially. That does not mean that we will not answer your questions and publish those answers to you and make them available to everyone, okay? But it does mean that we probably want to cover this initial data with you and then let you get into the rest of the room. So the main event of tonight is part 2. But we didn't want you to get into part 2 until you learned a little bit about what we found out. Okay, now, it's often common that when you're looking at counties and you're starting the budget that you would compare yourself to other counties. And one of the big questions is always, where's the tax rate? What's your tax rate? What's someone else's tax rate? And what kind of services those people might provide to you? I've gone through the North Carolina Association of Counties and the Department of Revenue, and we've pulled some metrics. And those metrics allow us to take a look at Sampson County in light of what some other counties are doing and in light of different factors. So let me go through what this chart means, and then I'll just kind of briefly touch on each one of them. You will all have a copy of this, and we have extra copies for the public as well. So before you leave this evening, if you're sitting in the public area or here, you all will have copies. So the first is, what are we looking at? Well, the North Carolina Association of Counties has a property tax levy per capita. That is the property tax levy. It's how much property tax is being collected for each person in a particular area, such as a county area. And what I've done is I've looked at all the data and I've taken the 10 counties closest to Sampson County using the metric of property tax levy per capita. So for each person, this is how much you're taxing on average per person compared to other counties. Your comparison counties are Scotland, Rowan, Wilson, Duplin, Alexander, Granville, Catawba, Lenoir, Richmond, and Stokes. I'm not reading all of these for every chart, but I say this because these 10 counties are not the same as another 10 counties using a different metric. Okay, this metric is your per capita income. If you're thinking about the services that your community needs, okay, then one of the things to consider is, what's the average per capita income? How wealthy are the people in your county versus other counties, and where have they set their tax rate at? So in this instance, it's the levy per capita, and this is just how much they make. Each county is different. Now, some of these counties, you already see, are yellow. If they're yellow, that means that on more than one criteria, more than one factor, they've matched up with Sampson. So the yellow counties have a little bit more in common with you than the ones that are not shown in yellow. So they're a little bit more like you. And they may show up in 2 or more places. So you might see Duplin or Granville. You see Granville too right here. So Granville is pretty close to you in property tax levy per capita, and they're also pretty close to you in per capita income. So this just lets you kind of have a comparison of counties that are like you in this area. Where are they at in terms of taxing their public? Now, there are 2 types of tax rates here. If you ask anyone from another county, how much tax are you paying? They're going to say this column, okay? And this is a good comparison. So you're at 0.625. If you ask someone at the School of Government or some nerd like me, what's your tax rate? We would ask you, well, which tax rate are you talking about? The only tax rate you vote on is this tax rate. What this is, however, is called the effective tax rate. And it's how effective your tax rate is in taxing the full value of property in your jurisdiction. And that's a function of your revaluation year. So, the farther you get from revaluation year, if it was, for those counties, I know you're on a 4-year cycle, but if it was 6 years, 7 years, 8 years ago, then your tax rate is not as effective in capturing all the taxes on the value because your value is really, really old. You don't have that problem right now because, number one, you've gone to a 4-year revaluation cycle and you just had a revaluation. So your tax rate is pretty effective at capturing the value or the taxes on the value of the property in the area. So ask anybody in another county, go over to Duplin, they'll tell you my tax rate is 0.735. And you ask anyone here and they'll probably say your tax rate is 0.625. But Duplin, they haven't revalued in a long time. So their effective tax rate is only 0.48. The values have risen, they did not reevaluate, and so it's like their effectiveness has diminished. Okay, so here are a couple of ways. Here's a couple more. Here's a couple more.
County, you said the Association of Counties, North Carolina Association of Counties, how confident are they in determining the effective tax rate of just say Duplin when there hasn't actually been a revaluation there, but yet they're confident to say that the effective tax rate is 0.4815? What are they basing that on?
There's a mathematical formula that based on when you had your last revaluation and based on information that they get from each county's tax office that determines the effective tax rate.
Okay.
So they're 100%. It's the same formula used across all 100 counties.
Okay.
So now it works for some reason. We just had to scare it. So here's the taxable property valuation per capita, just as another figure. If you have the taxable property valuation is the county's total assessed property valuation on a per capita basis. And you'll see what the average is for this comparison group versus Sampson. This is population. So this is one of the easiest ones to compare to. Counties that have a population similar to yours, your population is 55,770. So you can see the 10 counties in North Carolina with the closest population to you. On the high end is Wilkes, 66,315, and on the low end is Duplin, 49,683. So there's a range there, but you are right in the middle. Now you're here just to compare yourself to the average easier, but in all of these, it's the 5 taller or more or higher, and then the 5 lower. So there's always 10 comparisons for the charts I've shown you so far. The next chart is it's a little bit different in that this page is based on geographical area. So this page based on geographical area, these are the counties that simply touch Sampson. So the only thing, now that there are a couple that happen to be in the other slides that are yellow, but the only thing here is that, that these counties adjoin you. So you have a family member that crosses the county line. You've got friends that are right across the county line. If on a Saturday afternoon or if on a Sunday they're tired of talking about the Super Bowl and they just want to talk about tax values, well, this is what they'd be talking about, their adopted tax values. Now this is a little bit broader. This is kind of southeastern North Carolina. So, you know, and up into the center of the state, but this is a more regional geographical area. So this gives you just a different way of looking at things. So that's just data that you can take with you. If you think about the services that are offered in some other counties, if you think about how large they are, how wealthy they are, what type of development is there, you can kind of compare yourself. Now, there are a couple things. So for instance, Brunswick or New Hanover, you'll notice that their adopted tax rate is very low. Brunswick County is 34 cents. New Hanover County is 45 cents. Where you see something like that, there's something else going on, okay? Number one, an acre of land in New Hanover County is worth many times probably what an acre of land is here in Sampson County. Also in New Hanover County, it's a commercial center, so there are lots and lots of businesses. Those businesses generate sales tax. So a New Hanover County can rely more on sales tax than maybe a Sampson County can. And so they arbitrarily, not so much arbitrarily, but they don't need as much property tax because they can lean on their sales tax. So just as you look at these charts, that's just something to think about, okay? Now that's just a way to kind of compare counties, and having shown you all that and giving it to you when you leave, I would conclude this little section of the presentation by saying, just like every human being in this picture is different, every county is different. If you've seen one county, you've seen one county. Every county might have different circumstances affecting it. How much do they have in debt service? Is their school system growing? Do they have new kids or families moving in? What is it like in terms of new housing growth in the community? Or are they stagnant? There are some counties in North Carolina that have a net out migration, and they have next to no growth. In fact, they're dealing with empty schools or schools that have so few students that they don't know maybe they should consolidate because they just don't have that many kids. Economic development is different. Everything's different. So you really need to take all that information for comparative purposes, but get down to kind of, what about Sampson County? Where are we at right now? And this is when I turn this little mouse over to Melissa, and she hopes that it works for her. So we're going to take a few minutes now and give you some data that we've collected through finance and the tax office about where we think we're at right now, and then she's going to turn it back over to me. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioner. It's my pleasure to be here with you this afternoon to give you some projections for estimated revenues for the coming fiscal year, as well as to discuss a trend we've been seeing for the last few years with appropriating fund balance. The first chart here is prepared by Tax Administrator Jim Johnson. It's a comparison of the tax base for 24-25 with the tax base for 25-26. As you can see, there is a $100 million estimated increase in real estate, real property values, and a $6 million estimated decrease in motor vehicles tax base, with all the other categories remaining the same. For informational purposes, this is a $7.19 billion tax valuation, and 1 cent at the county collection rate will generate $697,430. Moving on, you'll see our first slide of property tax revenues. The first three graphs represent the actual property tax revenue collected for those 3 years. The $43,111,500 is the projected property tax revenue for the current fiscal year. And this $44,844,400 is the estimated for fiscal year 25-26. Please note that these amounts include prior year taxes as well as penalties and interest. It's important to note, if you look at this year, coming up, and 2 years ago, not even 2 whole years ago, that the projected level of property tax revenue is not even up to the level of the actual property tax revenue for 23-24. Regarding sales tax revenue, the same first 3 years are listed, which are the actual amounts of sales revenue collected. Although we've only received 5 months of actual sales tax data so far this year, we are, based on trends and how it's looking, we are comfortable right now, because only those 5 months of data, increasing the projected amount for fiscal year 25-26 by $750,000 up to $16,035,800. As with all of these, please remember they are estimates, and as such, coming information will necessitate they be adjusted up or down. And again, it's also important to note, just like the property tax revenue, that this figure that's projected is not even to the actual level of 23-24. Our next slide is going to be lease and rental fees. These are the rental fees that the GFL pays us. The GFL Environmental pays us for hosting fees. We've gotten 2 payments so far this year. They're quarterly payments, and as such, we are a little bit ahead of where we expected to be at this time. So with that being said, we are comfortable for now in increasing the projected amount for next fiscal year by $300,000. In addition, ambulance fees, we are also ahead slightly. So in this particular case, we're comfortable in increasing the projection of $150,000. Our last revenue slide is the detention center, which is housing federal and state prisoners. As you can see, there's been a slight decline in this revenue. This is merely a function of the number of state and federal prisoners that are available to be housed at this time. Our last and perhaps most important slide is right before you. As you can see, fiscal years 2021 through 22-23, our fund balance appropriated varied between $1.88 million and $2.63 million. For last fiscal year 23-24, that amount jumped to 4.458, but about $3 million of that was for the pay study that was implemented. This right here is going to be your most significant visual of all the slides.
Excuse me. Put this thing.
$11.549 million was the amount of fund balance that was appropriated for the FY 24-25 budget. Although in years past we've been able to grow our fund balance to a healthy amount, this right here is not sustainable. It's not something that can be done again. It is important to note, however, that we don't always use the exact amount of fund balance that we budgeted, but we won't know of this amount, how much we actually used, until well after the fiscal year is over. With that, I'll turn the presentation back over to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. And once again, we have all this information for you, okay? So the main event happens kind of now. So that gives you a snapshot, perhaps. I'm sorry, I'll put the mic back on. That gives you a snapshot, perhaps, of where we're at if you're thinking about the possible revenues that might lie before us. As Melissa said, we will get more data in, and before I present to you a budget on or about no later than June 1, we'll have a little bit more information from the tax office, and we'll adjust these numbers. I will say, I remember you mentioning that the sales tax number, for instance, we felt a little bit stronger about the sales tax number, so that what you saw tonight was already bumped for sales tax. So this is not the most absolutely austere thing. We have had growth in the county. So growth is good. People have been building houses. That contributed to a growth in the property tax base. And sales tax, is always something that we can look carefully at. But at the same time, it's important to know that like in every year, you're going to have requests that likely exceed your revenues, which is what makes tonight so important. So, I like quotes, and I also like Teddy Roosevelt. He's one of my favorites. And he said, "Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing." You, like other commissioners and other councils in cities and counties across the state, right now have important work to do. And you're not the only ones doing it. I've seen reports in the newspaper recently of governing bodies throughout North Carolina doing exactly what you're going to be doing tonight. It seems like a huge thing. It really does. But like they say, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Grab your forks. We're going to eat a little bit of an elephant. Okay? So what are we doing? We're going to do some goal setting and prioritization. Each table around the room represents a focus area. Now, in some other jurisdictions, people have paid consultants tens of thousands of dollars to hold goal setting retreats. And multiple companies will go and help the commissioners find your focus areas and do all kinds of things like that. Well, number one, I didn't particularly think that you want to spend tens of thousands of dollars to hire a couple of companies to come in. And number two, it's been my experience that there are only a few focus areas out there anyway. One focus area is growth and infrastructure. Others are posted around the room. Public education, a safe community, a healthy community, relations and connections, economic development, and excellent government. So these are kind of broad areas of focus that might be associated with specific departments. So for example, for Sampson County, growth and infrastructure. Well, you've got public works, and that's easy to see, right? That's the infrastructure portion of it. Water lines and things like that. Public buildings, also infrastructure. And by the way, when you have growth, you're going to need more infrastructure, whether it's more water lines or more public buildings. And you've actually been doing that. You just recently finished an emergency services complex. The DSS building, health building here isn't that old. So, I mean, you have built your public facilities to handle growth of your county. And I put up here transportation as well. Transportation, you buy buses, you have bus drivers. This public transit is infrastructure. But you might also think, well, you know, Jeff, transportation, it could have been stuck somewhere else. I mean, how about the fact that some of the people transported, your citizens, are transported to work? Could that be economic development? Sure. Well, how about the fact that transportation also carries people to their medical appointments? Could that be healthy community? Absolutely. Just because one of your departments is posted or a thing that you touch is posted here, it doesn't mean that's the only place it is. But you do have, scattered around the room, many areas that you touch. And to put them all in one place, over here by Melissa and Stephanie, this shows you all of the things that you're kind of touching in every budget. You're touching all the county departments. You're touching Clinton City Schools, Sampson County Schools, Sampson Community College, and all the different fire departments as well that provide a fire service to you. And so in addition to the departments around the room, you will also see a sheet of paper maybe that says Sampson Community College by Public Education. So it is not necessarily that they're county departments that you're only discussing tonight. You're discussing the things that you touch and the things that you fund. So, how do you go about figuring out what those priorities will be? Knowing that when you set these priorities, what's going to happen after tonight is that we capture this work that you've done. And we'll publish that work that you've done tonight to all the departments. And I'll use it along with the budget team, and we'll use your areas of focus, we'll use your priorities to look at where we might need to fund the most. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's an absolute necessity that didn't make it into this room tonight that we ignore it. Okay? Because there may be something small that absolutely has to happen, and that will make the budget. If it has to happen, maybe it's mandated by law, you know? Something as simple as building a handicap ramp because of Americans with Disability Act at a county building. Yeah, we're going to put that. If we have a roof failure, we're going to put that in there. Tonight is kind of the high level. Some people say it's the 30,000-foot view. Tonight gives us direction. And I hope that it will continue to give you direction into the future. You know, it may be that you don't have to do this every single year, but maybe every couple or 3 years. So tonight's work will pay off. So how do we get there? I'm going to let you hold that for me a second. Here's the exercise. Goal setting steps. First of all, note the area of focus and the associated departments. Now, I've already talked a little bit about that. You've got your orange sheet. It's kind of this area of focus, what you're going to put the magnifying glass on. So this one is going to be growth and infrastructure. And then the departments or the agencies that are kind of around growth and infrastructure. Check. Read the sentence strip ideas on the table. We've given you, I'd like to call it like a writing prompt. Or something like that. Some people, you can buy these at Barnes & Noble, by the way. People that want to be an author and just have no idea how to start out, you can buy these writing prompts. The start of a story. So on the table, you've got these things that we've written out, and we took some input from staff, and I also wrote a few of these. So for instance, for growth and infrastructure, this is just an idea. This is not your goal. This is just a strip of paper laying on a table, okay? But maybe it will prompt you to think about this. This one says, growth and infrastructure. Over the next 20 years, through careful planning, partnerships, and budgeting, establish a county-wide potable water system with greater fire capacity than now exists. Okay? It's an idea. Now, y'all might say, great, that is a fantastic idea. We love this idea. If that is the case, by consensus, you all want to turn this strip of paper idea that's laying on the table into a goal. Then you'll take this tape and you stick it on the wall. Okay? You read through all of them. Go through all of them. If you like them, they go on the wall. Now, read them. Maybe you haven't found exactly what you like. That's why we've got blank ones. Now, I can tell you, I cheated a little bit, all right? With the help of staff, we thought of something that you may very well have thought of, but we didn't write it down. I understand your courthouse is not the newest courthouse. Now, y'all might love that historical building. I walked around it, didn't go in it yet, but walked around it, walked all downtown. You might decide that you need to renovate the courthouse. The sheriff in the room might say, you know, my bailiffs have some security issues when we're transporting inmates from place to place. That's a consideration. You need to renovate your courthouse. It's not here. So you take the marker and you write whatever you want to write about the courthouse. Then by consensus, hey, you like it? Everybody good with that? Courthouse? Yeah? Stick it on the wall. By consensus, a sentence strip, technically these are called sentence strips, they are moved to the wall. When a sentence strip is moved to the wall, it goes from an idea to a goal. All right? It doesn't have to go on the wall. You might read 3 of these and say, that's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard of. No worries, because guess what? We'll throw it in the trash as soon as you move to the next table. Okay? So, not every sentence strip must be used. Now, after you've used the ones you want to use, I like these ones, I've written another one, everything's up here on the wall. All right? That's when the chairman has his role at this little table and says, are y'all okay with that? Everybody okay with that? Good? Feel good? Anyone want to pull one back off? Have we got too much on there? Is that unclear? If everyone's good, you don't need to take a vote because you've done an exercise by consensus. Eventually, the board would, with all of these, when we're all said and done, we publish a document to you, and it does become your goals, and at that time you would vote on it to be the official goals that you have for right now. But right now, you're happy with it. What do you do next? I'm only giving you one chair, by the way. So you take your chair and you roll it to the next table, and you do it again. Okay? And then we do it again. But don't worry, this will not take all night because we're also giving you a time limit. We're going to do about 10 to 15 minutes per table, okay, before moving on to the next table. So let me pause. I know this is a new exercise. You haven't done this one before, sitting on the board. Any questions about what it is in this part of the exercise? If there are no questions, can I get a thumbs up? All right. Do you all feel comfortable with this? All right. I'm going to hang out with you at this first table. So go ahead, swing your chairs on over here, and I'm going to help facilitate the first table, and then I'm going to get out of your way, and we're going to let you march on. Hey, also, by the way, now's a good chance while you are setting up, go ahead and take 5 minutes, stretch your legs, get a caffeinated beverage if you want to, okay? We're going to reconvene in 5 minutes, and your timekeeper this evening is Miss Nancy Dillman.
She will consider them, see if anyone really strikes your fancy. Okay. And then after you've read through all of them, you could go ahead if you want to and say, I like this one, get it up there. And then make sure before you leave this table, if there's another one that you need to write a new one and either put it up there or not. Okay? All good? Okay, Nancy, reset, and now give them 15 minutes. Okay.
And interest first, so just make sure we know where we're at. You want to read for it? You the man.
Okay. Maintain the unique rural and agricultural climate of Sampson County even while encouraging smart growth in the tax base. Through increased relationships and lobbying, state and federal governments establish a larger road network to include 4-lane connectors linking Sampson with larger urbanized areas and interstates. Form and sustain partnerships with local municipalities to provide a strong regional utility system for the benefit of all customers countywide. Ensure an equitable distribution of infrastructure improvements in all the geographical areas of Sampson County. Over the next 20 years, through careful planning, partnerships, and budgeting, establish a countywide potable water system with greater fire capability than now exists. Continue efforts to offer utility customers robust, reliable, and high-quality water services. Connect areas experiencing PFAS contamination to the county's potable water system.
So if any of them fit, if they don't, add one to it like you want to.
Well, my personal thought is that we have to do something even though it's going to be a bear. We have to do something about the PFAS thing because people are going to be needing it. And but we can only do that through grants.
That's the bear we've already started tackling.
Yeah, and we have to stay on it. I like this one too about the roads. That we need to be lobbying to get more roads through Sampson County.
That's the one that stuck out with me.
Yeah.
Because through this happening, we know that we're gonna grow. And that's what we're after.
You like that?
That one too, sir. All right, have y'all got anything that comes to your mind?
That sustain partnership with this college to provide strong regional utility system.
Sustain partnerships with local municipalities. I like that. And we need to do that long ago.
What is
You
this?
got to have partnerships with other municipalities to provide a strong regional utility system.
Would that be different than what we're currently doing with the PFAS?
I think that's what, that one, they kind of overlap because we're gonna have to do this to get that one, I think.
So we need to be connecting the water, trying to connect the water systems from the county with the towns and municipalities. Such as like, we're getting ready to put in a system near the landfill, and town of Sonnenberg was wanting to put in water on Lakewood School Road, but then they backed away from it, and now the county's looking at doing it. So
Marriages.
maybe we should put this up here. I don't want to put everything up here, I mean.
Well, let's pause for a second there. So, step one, listing all the goals. Step two later on, you won't take them away necessarily, you'll prioritize.
Yeah.
So we have a different exercise where, so you can put, if you love everything on the table, you can put everything on the table up here. Add 5 more of your own, okay? It's okay.
And y'all know my heart, so I want to maintain the rural and agricultural climate in Sampson County. I don't care what we do, y'all. I want to see that maintained. And I just, this one I keep reaching to because this is kind of.
Sit in your hand, put it up there, put it up.
I mean, we are agricultural.
Yeah.
I don't see that change right now, so we've got to, through doing this, we need to remember who we are. I get what I'm trying to say. We need to still remember who we
Now,
are.
that one for the next 20 years, that's something that as we grow, we need to look at the future. That need to be.
Which one? The
20
20
years
years.
road
See,
administration.
that's why I was hesitant on this, because this one kind of overlaps with this, about the potable water system, and then the utilities is, to me, one of the same thing.
Put them up there, we'll prioritize them later.
Okay.
Yeah.
You okay with that, Eric? Guess both of those.
And these, I feel like we've already got some
Yeah.
of these. I mean, I think they're a little bit overlapping, so
Yeah.
if what we're doing, they're up there.
This one too?
Do you all have one that's hitting your brain? I mean, you're looking at public buildings, you're looking at transportation, control work. I'm gonna ask you, put you on the spot a little bit, are we planning on our public buildings, are we looking at having a 10-year goal? I didn't see that anywhere. We talked about a 10-year commitment somewhere. Let's say, oops, you're gonna have to have a roof, oops, you're gonna have to have.
Right.
I don't see this in here, or is it somewhere else that I'm
We're
missing?
we're about to work between now and the budget on a 10-year plan to maintain major building systems. So you'll know over the next 10 years what you have to fix is based on fixing.
We're good there. We don't have to just leave that like it is.
I mean, you can put that down and heck, then you can say, done. I mean,
Could you word it like put more on building contingency? Like build a contingency fund for our buildings.
Right. It's needed, it's needed.
Right.
Teacher.
better?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I didn't see black ones.
Would that include school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would include
That would include
all buildings.
schools.
We're already doing that with the school system, correct?
Well, you have public education coming down
Okay.
there.
All right.
So, yeah, but this is the right spot for your county infrastructure.
Yeah,
That's right.
For
buildings, all public buildings. That would feed into the courthouse thing too.
yeah, somebody mentioned that.
And if you want something specific, okay, these are broad. If you want something specific, you can write as specific as you want. So if you knew, I want to say, we need a new one of these things, then you can totally write that down and put it up here. It doesn't hurt you to talk amongst yourselves right now, because this is the time that's good for giving direction.
We got a contingency plan for public buildings, and I get to look for the courthouse and all that, correct?
That's for all buildings.
You can, if you wanted to say, well, all buildings, just write all buildings, kind of in parentheses underneath.
thing with our courthouse, we can kind of address that.
And I only say that because you just said it's for all buildings, it's just so we can capture that later on.
That's gonna be a big
Okay.
element.
So
We all know it's something that may get potentially is coming.
helping facilitate just while you're here. Now's a good time to ask, anything else you want to write? How many minutes have we got?
7.
7 minutes. Anything else you want to write down to capture?
Now, this is something that we haven't talked about. It's new. The next 20 years, what's going to happen with fuel? So we should look at electric cars for contingency. Would we need some of those to help our economy? That's the next 20 years.
I don't worry about it. I guess you look at it as a, contingency for, just for lack of words right now, more efficient energy use throughout the county.
Would you be talking about for the county fleet of county-owned vehicles?
Add that, we'll add it, and when we come back, we look at it. That's what I'm trying to do, that's it.
You looking for a word for that?
Efficient fuel source.
Maintain an efficient county vehicle fleet.
Whether it's electric or gas, or whatever it takes to be efficient.
We don't know what technology will come in.
We don't.
Yeah, well, the market.
They have all nuclear cars.
Some places are using propane public transit.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we have some propane.
Yeah.
Transportation.
I remember Rose Marie told me
I
that.
believe the sheriff.
5 minutes.
I'm gonna bring this up too. The number of local mom and pop shops or local owned garages that do fleet servicing. How many vehicles, does anybody have a total number of how many vehicles the countywide has? They're trying to. Okay.
I hadn't heard that one yet.
I think we need to establish a fleet management, we need to look at a fleet management program and possibility of expanding public works to include a shop to do the tires, oil changes, farm out, major repairs, but in-house stuff that can be done by combining the sheriff's office, EMS, everything below stuff to be done through fuel changes and oil tires, stuff there.
Would one of y'all make a note for that? You could do that as a good goal. That would go under excellent government. So there's a lot of efficiency things that are right over there. So what we can do is, Stephanie, if you would not mind taking one of our pink slips, and let's go ahead and we will pre-do a goal on the table over there for effective government that says, probably a good way to put it is maintain greatest efficiency or effectiveness. That's probably not it. I'm thinking about the purchasing and procurement. Utilize best practices in purchase and procurement to minimize fleet costs, or create our own garage. You're talking about our own vehicle maintenance facility,
That's what I was
perhaps.
looking at with the public works, most places, public works oversees the garage.
So possibly building a garage would be under infrastructure. If it's purchasing and procurement, like going out for RFQs for services, that would be under excellent government probably.
Okay. So possibility of expanding public works to include a fleet garage?
That's right there, and that's here, yes. So really, that would be really under two places. I still think that a pink note idea on the table on purchasing and procurement would work with this.
I I know there's a situation when there's an
Oh, you
emergency, it has to be fixed, or we have to do something real quick, but we have a regular maintenance schedule for some of our schools, it would be nice. We do it in my office, everything is on the board, and we do maintenance, and it does, we do it all right, we do a lot on site, so
2 minutes.
it makes sense. Thank you.
I don't know if you planned it this way, but look how even that worked out. 4 and 4, got 8 goals. 2 minutes left. Mr. Chairman, now's a good time for you to check with the board. Is there anybody that can't live with this? Is there anything that needs to be ripped off right now?
You rip it off now, we'll come back and we'll review it and put it and prioritize everything when we come back.
Sounds good.
Correct. We'll prioritize.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, take your chair, roll it to the yellow table. And these go away.
You're right back.
See, by the time you do 2 of these, your old hands, the chocolate will follow you. Welcome to public education. Now, public education certainly consists of things like Sampson County Public Schools, Clinton City Schools, but also there's another department that has something to do with this, and that's the library system. One could argue that the library system is also in other places, like, for instance, economic development. People research things, business plans and things like that at the library. They learn how to become entrepreneurs there. But right now we've camped out here. Everything else is the same. I'm stepping back. Thank you.
All right. Roll, Betty.
Establish a funding formula for public K-12 education that creates budget certainty and strengthens relationships between the school system and the county. Collaborate with the boards of education to provide an education system responsive to employers' workforce needs. Provide adequate facilities to optimize education and support both Sampson County and Clinton City school districts. Develop and maintain a 10-year long-range facility needs assessment to guide future maintenance of public facilities and accommodate future student populations. Increase collaboration with county educational partners to support their efforts to teach and retain students, faculty, and staff. Establish a multi-year plan for responsible maintenance and required expansion of the public school facilities in the community. Negotiate and jointly adopt the public school system funding formula between the county and the 2 local school districts. Identify pathways to future success and skill development for students after high school and beyond.
Don't we have 2 that are similar right off the bat?
Yeah, the facilities things is similar to the one over here that we've already discussed.
How's it with the public education funding?
Establish a funding formula for public, yeah, and then right down here. I think,
These 2 go.
yeah, together.
I think that's just one is we just established that the second one is joint between the board and us.
Yeah, well, we would have to negotiate it with the school board, I would think. I mean, we would establish a funding
But it
formula.
says it's strengthen relationships between the school system and the
Yeah,
county.
well, I think we need to do that. I mean, I like the idea of a funding formula.
I do too.
That takes a lot of the political battle out of the yearly budget cycle.
Just say, this is what we're gonna do. I'm in agreement with that one.
You taking both pieces? Just one.
Which one?
I think they're the same thing, to be honest with you. We can put them up there together just to clarify that that's the way we feel we should go. I mean, I like the idea of doing a funding formula.
You think that's the strongest one?
They're right here now, so negotiate. I'll reread them. So one says establish a funding formula for public K-12 education that creates budget certainty and strengthens relationship between the school systems and the county. The other one says negotiate and jointly adopt a public school system for funding formula between the county and the local schools.
What we could have, and this and they want.
Let's take them up there together.
Hey, there's one thing we could do, just take the first one, draw a strike through them, establish and put negotiate. And then we combine the two.
You combine them.
Let's do that.
I would just take them up just side by side and
And then we change that one.
let them know that we'll put up there, we think they're the same thing.
Put them together? Right, just like that, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Put that together.
Okay.
Is that the one?
Establish a multi-year plan for responsible maintenance and required expansion.
And we put
We put with the other one,
expanding public, well, not public works, but
provide adequate facilities, optimize education and support, develop and maintain a 10-year-long range facility needs assessment, which would be similar to this, I think.
But that's needed for the school.
Yeah, this is for the school specifically.
just keep your little spot, because that's all, I mean, we're doing that's what we're doing.
That's needed. We're missing that in the schools.
This one's gonna go with your community college.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Yeah, that's up here.
I mean, that's community college, and that, I guess we put on that side. Because I do like, if we're gonna, if you're gonna get any growth, you're gonna have to have the pathways identified that help business people to,
Yeah.
and that's really not, it's not a big expense, it's just a way to, hey guys, we're gonna get on board with you.
I like that.
I like it.
Is it okay if I ask that question?
Sure, yeah, it's your meeting, sir, absolutely.
Sir, we put you on the spot, economic development, with regard to pathways and stuff. Are any programs across the state where economic development works with the high schools, CTE, and the colleges, and the career? I know they do the college, community colleges and career training. But are there any programs where they work with the high school?
Anyone else? We're talking about program, ask that question again, we'll tag team it.
Are you familiar with any programs, statewide education, secondary education, not community college, where economic development with the county works with the school system, with the CTE to help train people for businesses, recruit them for business to come in?
Yes, that's a big push right now to begin apprenticeships and internships directly with high school students in that area to meet the identified needs of kids coming out. Now, we no longer push them four-year colleges on kids.
That's why I was just trying to get a clarification when you posted that. Make sure we're
Maybe it'll help us.
One of the things is that there's differences between the schools that they do across the state, but they're all just sort of got some sort of program. It's not, I don't think it's unified.
Well, similar to what you're doing, except it's tied together.
I would like to have one on here that says something about instead of building new schools, we need to try to figure out ways to improve the schools we currently have. That's just my thought. I'm tired of seeing a bunch of empty buildings.
What I don't like is just in Chris, you drive by and we talk about security at our public schools, and then you see them putting in, there's no way to secure anyone inside of one of those outside buildings unless it's inside of a fenced area.
Yeah.
That bothers me. I know that the elementary is there at home, theirs are in fenced areas. I know that Lake, where you're at, I walk right down the middle of them, they're not fenced or covered. And there's no way to secure
But that's the
any
problem with
attack on those off the same way they can be.
Yeah, they, you don't, and they don't have no room. They have the ability for a spot, so you're right. So to cure them would be hard, it's like,
Challenging then
Yeah.
because
and being outside.
of the annex is basically like your mobile school rooms.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where he loses security of our
That's
children. That's what bothers me a little bit.
But is there a way we could build new schools on, or expand schools on current sites without having to buy new land? New property?
right, that's,
Rehabilitation.
Yeah, rehabilitation,
It's a
expansion
possibility.
of current schools instead of building a whole new school system or school sites.
That's,
That's part
I
of
think
that.
that fits here. So a 10-year long-range facility needs assessment.
Yeah,
It will say whether a school can be expanded or whether a new school would be necessary. So, but right now, I met with both superintendents, and they don't have anything at this level. So they know what their population is now of students, but there is a way to forecast student growth and what area it would come in, and whether or not they have to build a new school or can expand a wing or wings on another school. So that would tell you a plan, but it wouldn't, that wouldn't fund it. This would be doing the planning for it.
See, where I live in Midway and Union have room to expand. Lakewood starts to get limited, but they still have more room they could go in, and there could be some things done there. Hopton has no room, they're on both sides and crap.
yeah, they don't have.
So I like what you're saying, that's part of what they'll do. I want to address the library issue a little bit, we'll move with the commissioners right while we're into this practice.
5 minutes.
Got 5 minutes, so here's my part on that part of, the library part. I don't want to close the libraries, but we need to, I mean, you talked about this, I think, in general things. I think we need to really assess if there's a way that we can make it more efficient for what's being done within the county and bring in our municipalities involved to see if they can, if they're willing to keep their libraries open and running. I know I've got one that called, they don't want it no more. They don't want to keep it up, they don't expense that the county's sending to them. Anyway.
Looks like the library in Roseboro, I mean, if the county were to close the library in Roseboro, people in Roseboro would be upset, but would the people in Roseboro, the town of Roseboro, be willing to help share some of that cost for the county to keep it open? I would love for that to be explored, so that we can provide that service, but yet the county's not responsible for all the cost.
Commissioners, one note, all the small municipal libraries, the buildings are owned by the towns, and they cover the utility cost, but they do not cover personnel or the collections, computers, things like that.
That's interesting. Thank you. I think that's good information.
That helps.
So, the library, if you want to put something on the lines
Evaluate.
of
Evaluate cost efficiency of
Yeah,
all the
they're
libraries.
evaluate the efficiency of running the library.
Yeah, let's put that on there.
Yeah.
For the library.
Any more of these?
I think we touched on them pretty good what we got up here. I mean, this increased collaboration with county education boards to support their efforts to teach and maintain student facilities and staff. I mean, that's,
Kind of already up there.
yeah.
I think if you go with the funding formula though, then it kind of, the county's done its part and it puts I hate to say the burden, but it puts the
Where it should be.
responsibility solely on the school board, which is where it should be. I mean, the Board of Commissioners will do its part by establishing a funding formula, and then the school board is responsible for allocating how the funds are spent.
Are we good?
I'm fine with what we got to do.
You fine? We got a thumbs up, everybody?
Everybody thumbs up?
We're good?
Yes, sir. Let's go to the next one. Let's just keep it going with the safe community. Mr. Godwin, if you keep sitting at that end, they're gonna keep making you take things up.
We're gonna be consistent, we're doing good so far. I got my router, I got my router, I got my table, we're rolling.
So a lot of things that you can think of here, detention, teen court, well, detention, sheriff's office, emergency medical services, emergency services, meaning that emergency management function, communications, but also here you have the fire services, not a county department, but it touches that as well. Teen court, kind of in that from the judicial standpoint. Only one position there, by the way. All the positions that we know of from a recent report, by the way, are listed on the bottom of those county departments, so you can see about how many positions are attached to that department inside that focus area. So there you go.
Coordinate all aspects of public safety within municipalities, state, and federal governments to provide responsive, cost-effective, and efficient administration of justice, fire, and rescue, and emergency services to all our counties. Establish funding for the community's fire departments sufficient to maintain the individual missions of each fire department. Increase responsible pet ownership and animal adoptions from the animal shelter. Foster innovative partnerships between emergency services and law enforcement to make a safer community. Provide sufficient funding to the Sheriff's Office and Detention Center to recruit and retain highly qualified LEOs, providing a safer community. Over the next 5 years, improve emergency medical services response times to less than 10 minutes. Plan for, coordinate, support, and provide response for local disasters. Create a multi-point emergency communications broadcast tower system for communications redundancy.
That one right there, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. Based on personal knowledge, if the Taylor's Bridge Tower goes down,
Wow.
that's when cripple Sampson County. There is limited crossover from the Warsaw Tower. Correct me if I'm not wrong, Captain Smith, Warsaw Tower covers Sampson, Taylor's Bridge, and is there one in Cumberland that comes in partial as far as the Viper?
Yes, Kenansville, Cumberland, Salemburg, Newton Grove, Taylor's Bridge. I know they were looking at establishing a loop with the state, Newton Grove, Sampson, and Taylor's Bridge, but I don't know if that's through microwaves. I don't know if they've done that or not.
So this issue could result in people going to the wrong place.
Yes,
It could result in the 911 center being down.
They will take no information.
And this, so people couldn't call in and get response. Let's put this on the board.
Or rather, people who call in, but dispatchers do not be able to dispatch to the responding agency.
Cost effective, efficient. That element in there, cost effective, basically cost effective administration of the public safety apparatus. A coordination effort.
That goes on, Justice Viper.
Yeah.
Help on me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You lose one.
This one right here, that's what they're doing right now, just so y'all know.
They're
They're
already
around, they're
working
seeing
on
their
that.
community, they're seeing their community folks, they're establishing what they need. I know the 2 fire systems that are that's struggling. The others seem to be okay, so I'm trying to work on that with them and trying to put our money back. So how do we know the funding comes from here and do it from the county and get them the individual meetings? As long as we're paying them, they're not going to get the individual meeting. We'll get them like $250,000. Oh, what that is. I'm afraid of.
Now, what's this one?
So that's
Foster innovative partnerships between emergency services and law enforcement to make a safer community.
like go with
I think that's covered up there already. I think
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
provide sufficient funding to the sheriff's office and detention center to recruit and retain highly qualified LEOs, providing a safer community. I think we have to put that in there.
I think you've got to consider that one, because
Yeah.
this is what we're recruiting and retention is. Getting early is.
With the detention center in particular, that's going to be one of your higher liability issues moving
That's exactly
forward.
right.
Yep.
And there are not too many people that want to pursue a career in detention alone.
Law
And
enforcement
if you
either.
can find somebody and you can train them and you can keep them, you are
Y'all approve that?
Yeah.
No, we're probably going to end up putting a lot of these up for us.
Over the next 5 years.
Yeah, we need to get the response time to
Yeah,
less than 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's critical. That's
Because
important.
people can die if they,
That's right.
We can-
you good with that,
That's
Eric?
cool.
Yeah, let's put this one up there.
That's a needed process. We don't know when we're gonna have a
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah, you don't really know when.
You can't, that's just a,
You can't
And a
plan.
lot of times the state comes in and does a lot to help you with that.
How do you feel about providing technical assistance to the fire departments? You know what I mean by that is annually see if our finance staff and attorney could do a seminar for them on funding, but not funding, but like accounting controls and safety things to protect them liably. And it also is a dual-edged sword to help us with stuff we need done, but do it in a customer-friendly
Well, does the
way.
county require the local fire boards to provide some sort of annual audit to the county for their,
I think they do, but what I'm saying is, the boards change and command staff change. I think having a user-friendly, hey, we're putting on this seminar for your liability protection. This is some things that you can do in-house if your board chooses to adopt them that will help you with us. These are things we're looking for. More of an information type system to get it out there. You know, these are things we're looking for. These are things that will help you and protect you moving forward. And it's more of a user-friendly format. You see what I'm saying?
you got that one, and what you just said there, what I've been looking at too, where they're trying to do this security as far as your IT part. If we could put all these together under one big umbrella and let them do their part to help each other as far as working together. And I mean, our IT department is securing us for what we got here in the county. And their IT is that's a whole different animal. That's just thoughts that I'm looking at, having something that they have. I'm gonna turn around here and ask the chief behind me. You understand what I'm saying about taking the sheriff's department, 911 center, everybody working on the IT program in one for your group?
Yes.
Does that make sense to y'all, what I'm saying? Okay,
I do.
It's just quick and easy.
that's not top of my concern.
Coordinate
though,
IT
but
infrastructure.
it might be y'all's.
For safe community. And it might be that, it might
I'm
be
asking
that,
y'all.
I think if
Emergency
they're running
services-
around, they ain't on a leash and they be put down.
they may have help to do that with.
They need to
There may
have
be
a
an
In
leash.
the most cost-effective way possible.
You gotta order something.
And what I'm doing on this cost side here is, I'm trying not to overspend. If there's someone there that we could combine that would work
Combine the two
and
together.
make it, I don't know, because y'all know me, I'm trying not to overspend this community. I'm trying to figure out ways that we can put this thing together.
Commissioners, one note from finance. We do require financial reviews from fire departments, and that's done, is paid for by the county. In some other places, the county also pays for a full audit, but not every year. It would be once every 4 years or something like that, that you'd have financial review, and then an audit, which is a much deeper delve than a financial review. But normally it's always paid for by the requiring agency.
I have a question. Does the county have any authority
It's funding
to
for the community.
limit who's on fire boards?
I'm just telling you.
I have people that are complaining to me that they have people on their fire board that don't live in the county.
Yeah, they want us to
As
get
as
them to get out right now. and let
as
the
a
community decide.
independent nonprofit
They just
agency,
can't blame that on
you,
us.
and you correct me, I do not believe you have any right to tell an independent nonprofit
Let's see
agency.
Yeah, I know.
Board.
We disagree. I'll go with that one.
We have heard, we need to go over that.
You know,
Yeah, I will.
the
Yes.
Board of County Commissioners chooses, you have that authority for a fire commission that is an entity of the county.
Okay.
But they're a separate organization that simply receives money from the county.
I got you.
You can put other factors like, to get this money, you must have a review or an audit or something like that.
Yeah.
If they want to get the money.
Okay.
And just in further
How much she
to
say?
that too, based
5
on
minutes.
the contractual setup on that agreement with the fire department, or with the fire departments and everything, it does speak to the board setup, but it does not speak to our influence on that.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That's not something we need to get into. Okay.
What I was talking about was more once a year do like a training session for them. If they want to send a couple of representatives from their board in, hey, these are safe accounting practices. These are recommendations that would help you and protect you liably. And in that way, it would give them a chance to communicate with finance on stuff we're looking at. We're not telling them what to do. We're just telling them how to protect themselves, and these are the things that we're looking for as we go forward.
That's fine. I think that's a good idea.
This is, I guess, is kind of my pet peeve a little bit. Establishing funding for the community for fire department is sufficient to maintain individual missions for each fire department. I don't want the Board of Commissioners being the grounds to say, you're going to do it this way, here's all the money you're going to get, when they're getting an outcry from their citizens within their own county, and they're making their determination that they don't mind giving a penny or whatever. If they can bring enough to me, I'm good with it. If they can't bring enough to me, well, we just leave everything like it is. But I'm just saying, this I want to put back on these guys.
Yeah.
That's Alan.
So we'd be treating them like the school board where they pretty much go do their own thing.
And we don't have to mandate,
with
and
their
it's
budget, their own
done by
budget.
their own budget and their own
budget,
thing. And we pull all our funding away from them. We don't give them, right now, we're giving, help me out, $250,000 or more. I know one fire department gets 3.
It varies. The regular county assistance
Bear with me.
is 6,000, and there's a RT supplement for 6,900, medical supplement for some of them for 440.
Where Vance Crossroads is getting all 3.
Some of them are getting all three, about 3 or 4.
So that starts to, that's over $18,000.
But then the county would just be responsible for making sure the taxes are collected and then distributed to each fire board.
Exactly.
Kind of like they do for the town.
They just pull the money, here you go.
Yeah.
You go do your thing, you do your audits, you put everything in place. That's just, I want us to just consider that in our minds, okay? Please.
Take your hands out of it.
That would take care of mine.
Yeah. That would.
Yep.
They're really asking.
How much time we got?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, all right.
I was just trying to look a way to foster relationships between the Fire Chiefs Association and the fire departments, to kind of temper them, to kind of give them what they need and help us achieve the goals that we need to achieve.
I mean, I really think right now we got our schools got the protection. They got people there. I think we're still just a little bit behind on where we won't be on detention with some hiring positions. I think that the funding part, we know what we've got to do to keep our safety of our citizens, and we've got to just make sure that all these departments run smooth and efficiently together. The more we lump them together, I think the more efficient we'll be as far as safety in a safe community, I feel like.
Well, it forced some of the fire departments here to make their budget. Some wasn't making their budget.
They won't, really?
Right.
Okay.
So it forces all of them to make their budget. Some had their budget together, but some did not.
It puts everybody on an even playing field. Right now, I don't know if we are.
Right.
That's just something I want us to look at. We can look at it as we move forward. We've got time. And they're going to start doing some presentations to present us the fire stuff, and we'll have all that.
Right.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
One question, sir. This speaks to establishing the level of funding
if, I want, just for clarity, because we're going to be capturing this and publishing it back to you and everybody, if, I also heard you talk about the process of funding. So this is just the level, you establish funding sufficient to maintain the fire missions. If you're talking about formalizing the process by which the fire tax is set and recommended to the board, that might need to be another goal. If you want to write that, because I would not take the process from that, say, from this one up here.
You got it.
If Miss Nancy will grant us another 60 seconds. Right fast.
And Chairman, did I hear you or understand as far as understanding the simplifying essentially the relationship between the county and the fire? Because I think that would be something maybe that could be handled in the contractual issue that we have in June 30th.
It's coming.
So that's something that will actually be even before the end of this fiscal
Don't worry, they're looking for you.
They are.
But we can definitely address that.
And thank you, that's what we need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we need to make sure those guys feel good about what they do. They're our volunteers. I'm looking at, I want to know that we got our volunteer fire stations. My plan is 12 years down the road with everybody putting 2 people on it. That's the plan. They all want to put 2 people on. And they're looking at going down the road 12 years. Now, after 12 years, there's no telling what it's going to look like. And I dread when that may happen, but we may see the volunteers may go away, guys. We will be honest and realistic about things. But right now, we think we can hold on to everything for 12. That's our plan.
Okay, time's up.
Anything we can do to
Thumbs up, right?
maintain.
Oh, yeah, we're good. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Do what?
anything
Move
we
to the
can do
purple
foster
table.
and maintain the voluntary organization.
I agree.
Here we have healthy community. So, your animal shelter, Department of Social Services, recreation. Now, some of these might have been more than one spot. Some people, if we talk about recreation, that's kids playing ball and everything. Maybe that's relations and connections. Maybe it could be even a little bit of safe community, because if they're playing ball, they're not on the street stealing something, or causing a ruckus. But
There was something over there about animal shelter, and we got it over here, so y'all know you get confused.
Animal shelter. Well, animal shelter. They have a facility, and
I know.
and of course, veteran services. All the things that they're taking in to make veterans healthy, aging, health department, healthy community.
All right. What we got?
Create a sustainable planned regional park system which provides recreational activities to future generations within Sampson County. Establish programs and processes that enhance service to the senior population of Sampson County. Coordinate with municipalities, state, and federal governments to achieve public health and well-being objectives. Coordinate with community and nonprofit organizations to maximize effectiveness and efficiency of public health, social services, and recreational objectives. Coordinate efforts to encourage and assist citizens to be gainfully employed. Continue to prepare and respond timely and effectively to emergency situations when they arise through coordinated efforts among county departments and community partners. Support policies and initiatives that deter criminal activity and reduce risk for residents and visitors while incorporating mitigation strategies learned from previous reviews and experiences. It's a mouthful.
I'm glad you said it.
Develop proactive and responsible programs focused on reducing negative outcomes related to preventable health issues, diseases, mental health challenges, and substance abuse.
Do y'all want to take one department at a time, or you tell me how y'all want to do it? I mean, some of that stuff is kind of
All
very
of them
general, and as
interact.
you said, very
Yeah.
wordy.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's so many different
if you
things here.
choose one, it could affect all of them that's up there, just like the health thing.
See, when you say mental health challenges and substance abuse, that's gonna go to your
Health department.
Department of Social Services probably. Well, it could go to health too, so you got two. I'm just, that one kind of caught me when we were reading it.
Yeah, that could go to both. This one, but,
Develop proactive programs focused on
What we didn't put on our buildings was utilize what we had in our buildings over there, volunteer do it.
related to preventable health issues.
Now I've got here.
I didn't
and
see
said
anything in there about
veterans services,
veterans.
They're jammed in.
yeah, I didn't see. Yeah.
You're gonna have to
I
write
mean, there's, out of all
Yeah.
that stuff up there,
Nothing about
I
veterans.
feel like the veterans are skipped.
They skipped.
Yeah,
in every way.
we don't want to forget the veterans.
I
That's
think
right.
we need to provide enough help for her to do the job that she's
Staffing and
that she's
facilities.
doing.
I think we need
Staffing
to
facilities.
Yes.
make sure the
Yes.
Yeah.
staffing and facilities
Staffing
are
and
met
facilities.
before we can achieve our goals.
That's right.
Staffing.
'Cause they don't have no room.
Got no room.
No
Ain't
room
got
at
no
all.
help either.
No.
And y'all, I think y'all know me well, know that my volunteers, my sheriff deputies, and my veterans is kind of my little pet peeve. I'm gonna be honest with you, we'll be straight up about it. I mean, they're kind of people who I've always been around my whole life. And but I still look after everybody, don't get me wrong.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right. Got everybody in mind.
And that's what we're here to do.
I like the idea of having a regional park system, but I just don't feel we have the money to pay for one.
I don't either.
I don't want to put it up there because I don't want them to think that we can
Let's
afford
put
it.
that down there.
We
Let's
just
put
don't
that
have the
down
money
there.
That's not the priority right now, as much as some of these
It
other.
may come as a priority in the next few years, but right now.
But right
I would
now,
love if we had the money for a
I would
park
too.
Oh, it's nice to go to Cumberland County, see all the little parks they got everywhere and the more things, and they're putting one in Clinton, so we'll use that one. Oh, that's terrible.
And we already have the Western District Park in Roseboro, and then, I mean, maintain what we've got and hope and pray for better days.
Support policy innovation.
Support policy issues that deter
It's
criminal
sufficient
activity.
staffing facilities for veteran services.
We need that.
I don't know about my taper.
Right. No, it's working.
When you
It's working.
this, again, I mean, when you think about our health department and our Department of Social Services, there's a lot of positions there that we don't get any say so about. They're going to be mandated by the state.
Yeah.
But
They're different. They got 156 and 44 positions. And all I think that we need to do is keep and coordinate efforts to encourage and assist the citizens to be gainfully employed. But I like that one. That's why I was picking at Ms. Lee. But I think that we need to make sure that they know the departments are there and that we keep a open door policy with the people that are there running these departments, our heads. I just don't see why we can spend more money on those. I mean, being honest, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either. And that's why I said the thing about the parks. I mean,
we're pulling that out because we don't think it'll work.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't spend the money.
Over and above.
Yeah, that's a luxury.
Yeah, that's
we,
over.
we can't afford a luxury.
We
right now.
can't really afford the luxuries right now. The animal shelter's just been redone. They're flowing and running, and I do know there's some issues there. I mean, there are going to be some issues in everyone.
Okay, now establish
communications between each department to
What about this?
to foster healthy communities.
Establish programs and processes
y'all
that
getting a little older
enhance
now.
What about the
service.
senior population?
Yeah, y'all getting a little older, I think.
I was actually served on the agent, and they're running. They're doing a super job.
Yeah.
They've got all their spots filled.
They do.
They're at full capacity as far as the spots that they get paid for. All that, I mean, they're doing that. They don't have but so
What
many
did
that
you
they
say
can
about
have.
the senior
I don't understand.
Establish
Where do you
programs and
go? What's
processes.
13.8 positions? What's the 0.8?
It's part of it's funded from another department.
See, that's what I thought. Thank you. That was the reason I was asking.
Your director for aging is also the director for Parks and Rec, so
Right.
part of it comes out of each.
I see now. I got you.
And the administrative assistant.
Maybe we should put this up there because that would tie into that.
That's why we got you. We're gonna find out.
Okay, let's see.
But this would be trying to get money from outside. because we're
Exactly.
coordinating.
Coordinate with the
Mhm. And we want to.
federal.
Yeah, we want to try to get all we can from other sources to help the elderly, but we,
I always put it up.
This is good.
Social services receives a large majority of funding from the federal government.
do what?
Wood,
Federal government.
moving, aging, and the animal shelter would move aging under social services. Make it eligible for more federal funding? It would. Okay.
No,
We actually don't know.
the funding will be for specific programs like TANF or WIC
Food
or
stamps.
SNAP.
SNAP.
Right. So it would not, you wouldn't save money by doing that. In fact, if the same director oversaw both, I'd probably have to take some local money and put in that director's salary for the percentage of time we say that they would be managing somebody else.
I just want to get those questions out on the.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
There's our animal shelter. Yeah, I'll be honest, I think we're good at animal shelter. Everything's moving down there. I know that there's an expense there.
Yes, it is.
Of the veterinarian. I've heard that one got thrown at me the other night.
Yeah.
And so and put down there animal shelter, we might need to address cost of.
Efficiency. Yeah.
Because we don't have that down here,
No, it's not only, it doesn't really break it down. I think the rec department, agent, they're combined. Your Department of Social Services and Health Department, there's not so much that we can do to start with from Alan's standpoint. So we've already talked about what we want to do for the veteran services, and now we just need to really look at our animal shelter. I don't think we can spend any money to change a recreational agent right now. I think we got to leave with what we got, unless we just look at.
Yeah.
If you did away above, you still have no money. They bring in a right good little bit of dollars on the agent.
Yeah.
And the rec
Outside
department,
money.
They got X amount of programmable people that they put in these facilities.
Yeah.
And then they go and they're basically getting funded for that, so.
Yeah. And there's, I mean,
Outside-
if they're getting outside,
outside funding.
if we're getting outside of funding for a program, we need to just let the program run with outside funding.
Well, it's aging. They get a lot of funding from outside.
Salmon
correct?
cost efficiencies.
The aging department, there's money from outside comes in.
Yes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Where would
Or that
grant
clock lady
writer
again.
come in? Where would us getting a grant writer come in?
That'd be over there. Excellent development.
I'm with you.
We need one of
Should we
these.
put up there
There's a
something
lot.
about like, with some of this stuff, like, just do what's mandated? Bare bones?
Be as close to mandation as possible.
They know
Hey, it's your thought. I mean, you got to put them, we'll come back
Yeah,
by.
well, do exactly what's mandated, not a sin above.
Focus on mandated.
Focus on mandated
State and federal
services.
mandated services.
Yeah.
I'd put it up there.
I mean, because I don't feel like we have the money to spend any above mandated services.
Basically, that's what your Department of Social Services and Health are doing.
That's
anyway.
what,
Yeah,
yeah, they
they're
know to
already
do
at
that.
mandated
Yeah, they
levels.
know to do that.
Yeah.
Because we
But
don't have.
remember, if with their mandates, it comes to us that we still got to pay so much of the
Yeah,
mandate.
you got to pay your part.
I got
think they-
You still got to fund it. It don't matter. I mean,
Don't we fund
we can cry and want to change it or whatever, but we still got to
The
fund the
county have
checks.
to put in 35%, don't they, of the mandate. We have to put in that. The state puts the rest.
We have to put up with 35%.
It's just like it's like they just did Medicaid and Medicare,
Yeah.
and they're gonna fund all that. They said, yeah, for about 2-3 years, and then they're gonna look to us to make up the difference.
Because
It's
it
coming.
runs out.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's
That'd be
what.
an unnecessary thing to say, but
How much time we got?
3 minutes.
Okay, we're good.
I think we're good here.
Everybody good?
Move on to the
Yeah,
next
we
table, I
go
guess.
to the
Thumbs
next
up.
table.
I have a thumbs up. All right, move to the next table.
Okay, here's your break.
Break.
Here's your dinner break.
All right.
Why are Ray sweating over there?
Oh, he's right there, give me a run.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's good.
We'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Foster partnership.
Foster partnerships to collectively develop strategies and inspire a positive business environment. Support policies and developments that strengthen the county by recruiting jobs that pay a living wage. Optimize the balance between industrial, commercial, and residential development to maximize the tax base and minimize the tax rate. Partner with municipalities and community allies to identify, prioritize, and establish viable sites for economic development through infrastructure and streamlined regulations. Provide a highly skilled local workforce for business success. And enhance agritourism opportunities within Sampson County. Foster partnerships to collectively develop strategies.
Positive business environment. It's bringing them in.
It's just like, if you look at your soil and water, I know, and I do know that any grants that was given to soil and water for the farming community has been stopped for right now.
Yeah.
They stopped it. They're reevaluating every bit of those and what was put in place. So there's, I'm just looking around at what's going on within the big scheme of it, but maybe that, like I said, that's just.
You want to put that in there?
Yeah.
It's going to
Alan, you
change.
okay with that?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Eric?
Eric,
From this league?
easy.
Yeah, let's put this in there.
Processing right now.
Process.
That's scary. Policies and development, that's in the county, creating jobs. I don't know how you're going to do that.
Partner with municipalities and community allies to identify and prioritize and establish viable sites for economic development through infrastructure and streamlined regulations. Well, we've already got the stuff going on in Newton Grove and Clinton, so we need to continue doing what we can because we've already got that investment made.
We need to look at Rosebud too. The Rosebud, that 20-year stretch between Rosebud and Altry that worked out.
Well, they did do the the cleanup work at the old PTI building already, and sold it to the North Carolina welding people.
That's good.
So this partner with municipalities and community allies to identify, prioritize, and establish viable sites for economic development through infrastructure and streamlined regulations.
That's the one you just read.
Yeah.
I guess streamlined regulations has to be on there, but I'd tell you.
Yeah, I'll put that in there.
Already doing
That one.
that.
Yeah, we're already doing that.
That one says a lot, Joe. Sorry.
Optimize the balance between industrial, commercial, and, yeah.
I mean, we've got to be smart about how we proceed with growing our residential developments. We got to be smart that we don't screw up anything that is sitting there that's going to be a infrastructure that we get so fast in development that we miss out on this happening. We've got to be sure that our residential development meets what we need for our industrial and commercial, and that we can keep our tax rate where it needs to be. And if we do that properly, we can keep to minimize this tax rate. But we've got to grow this part to do it.
Yeah.
We got to have something that's going to create jobs. Plus, we got to have so many houses with people coming in that's going to stay within our county.
Yeah.
But
If they're going to leave our county, that's the problem.
But this is the important word, that optimize, the balance. And
And that's what we got to do.
that's what we got to do.
Let's put
Yeah.
that, I would put that in there.
And
If we don't
I mean,
find a balance, we're
Yeah,
out.
if we have a negative flow out of the county every day, that's hurting our sales tax. If we had more people staying in the county for jobs, then we'd.
You give us that report on how many jobs is going out of the county. Do you remember? Or did you give
It's
me
like
that?
8,000 a day.
There's 4,900 people leaving every day to work in other counties, more than there's, if you take out agriculture and government, it leaves retail, trade, manufacturing, and businesses that file to have employees, not count self-employed. That sector, there's 5,900 that actually work and live in the county. 8,200 travel into the county to work every day. 13,000, almost 13,000 travel out. It's about 4,900 leave the county every day to work in other counties.
So if we were able to limit that to keep more people in the county, that would help increase sales tax revenue because people are going to lunch, people are going shopping.
Keep our money in Sampson County.
It would help.
Ray, that's a net 4,900 going out versus one coming in, right?
Right, net loss.
Net loss. So your net loss.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we got to work to encourage to fix y'all. We really do.
Wow. It's those jobs coming here.
We okay. What else you got?
I think we need to put up, because it's on another board down there, but we need to put it on this board too, so we kind of underline the need. We need to look at trying to get more highways through Sampson County, 4-lane highways to draw more traffic, such as this possibility of a new interstate going to Wilmington from Greensboro. We want it to come through Sampson County.
We're working on that.
So,
Are we working with anybody in the Harnett Economic Development region where they're looking at the 4 lanes for 421? Do we have any connection with them?
We meet with the transportation, Harnett is part of our transportation group.
They're not together.
would it help if we put on there to reestablish the what is the name of the committee? The Transportation
Transportation Advisory Committee.
TAP. Yeah, let's put that on there, reestablish TAP, so that
I think it would work.
we're going after the road money. I'd like to see 401 4-lane to face an intersection up there.
It'd be nice. It would help out tremendously.
Reestablish the what now?
Transportation Advisory
TAP.
Committee. Okay, yeah, committee.
And so y'all know, because I need to bring you guys up to date and everyone else, we were talking about that. There is a program out there, and I shared this with you. We were talking the other day, and it's called, let's see, help me out.
It's vacation, military, storm.
MVPSs.
Yeah.
You got veterans, which is they use that route to get out and tie your military bases together. They use that route as far as ports.
Yeah, ports.
They use that route as far as storms as an excellent evacuation route. Thank you. And then
military.
So it works. Vacationers, military, ports, and
if you meet all criteria, you're more likely to get funding for improved roads.
That's where expanding.
It'd be like getting Highway 24 finished back
Thank
to
you.
school.
Yeah, that needs to be done too.
With relation to the military and the economic development circles, are there any trade groups? Are there any avenues for us to, since we're strategically located between Seymour,
Right in the middle.
Liberty, Sunny Point, and Lejeune, is there any way for us to network on our economic development of recruiting some military-type businesses where we can tap into some of the veterans who are moving into the western part of our county too?
With the military service center that we work with, that's not primarily where leads come from, but we do work with them on the soldiers that leave the military or exiting for job placement. The problem we've seen is that the ones that have come in that are leaving are much, much higher wages than our existing industry offers. So that
That's where wages part comes in.
My question is, a military industrial complex, I know we're not gonna get no General Dynamics rocket factory here, but some of the things that would be within our skill set, and especially the people from Fort Liberty that reside in the western part of our county, is there any avenue for recruiting any industry that would cater to them?
Yeah, there is. It's, since June, as an example, there's been one military project other than aerospace, which you gotta have the airport for.
Yeah.
But there's been one, and it needed 500 acres with more water and sewer. And the military projects that have come so far since June have been such massive projects that we don't have the infrastructure for them. But to your point, we're still looking, and that's part of what we work with in the economic partnership. We're trying to find those.
4 minutes.
I just want us to appear as military friendly as we can.
I think we need to be.
Based
We
on our
have to be.
location.
Yeah.
And balance it with the agriculture.
And one thing we are trying to do is put the existing industry in touch with the military folks about buying their goods from them direct.
Thank you.
Well, we're surrounded by 3 bases.
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, we're a perfect spot.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by 3 bases, and you've got the Corps of Engineers based out of Wilmington. You're surrounded.
Yeah.
With a lot of, with right now, some very sufficient type roads that we have, but I'd like to see some, like you said, 701, 401, along with 242 fixed, 403, I'm sorry. Those roads could make a world of difference.
Should we have something, I mean, Ray could probably answer this for us, but I mean, we need to be looking at getting private equity money to help us develop our Newton Grove site and our Clinton industrial park sites, so the county is not responsible for the total capital investment. We're bringing in private equity money to help us develop it, and then as a result of that, the trade-off is they get the profit when the county and them go to sell the land to an industry. Is that something that we're looking into, Ray, that to
We
help?
met with a couple folks. The bigger challenge for us right now is the infrastructure of building out the parks. We're taking baby steps as far as the development.
So what you're saying is the property we own does not have any infrastructure?
No, it's got infrastructure, but it does not have sufficient infrastructure.
Is there a way we
We'll be the first one to buy it.
Is there a way we can get private equity money to help foot the bill to get that infrastructure in place?
Is that what you're trying to say?
Establish and foster public-private partnerships, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's definitely a doable thing.
Let's put that up
With
there.
regard to the public infrastructure, the water, sewer, road network, that's going to be generally on us.
On us, yeah.
Newton Grove has, we got to tie in and move out. We can do that, and I'm just, because I had some chance to talk to Ray about that. There is sewer there. We have the water.
There's capacity, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
You are the impetus for expanding our tax base.
Exactly.
I just know that looking at other counties and states, Ray, Ray, I know that just looking out of state at other counties for business expansion, that oftentimes the other industrial parks, like in Florida, some of the northern Florida counties and Georgia counties that I've looked at for my own business, a lot of them are, even though they're tied in with the local county, they're actually being run and developed by like a private equity real estate group.
Well, for example, when Stephen, who was here before me, where he worked previously in all his jobs, he never had to create product. Up until 5 years ago, we didn't own 1 acre of land and did not control any business. So collectively, what's been done over 5.5, 6 years is more than the past 20.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to be down, it's a fact where we are. But the market, the infrastructure things that we will have to do and assist with, we're going to have to kick it. That's probably the best way to say it.
We own any extra land up there where that pellet place is?
All around me.
How many acres do we own up there? 100 acres. Is there already roads into there? You'd have to build more roads in. Okay.
Another thing. Here's on the road.
They don't eat.
There's no free lunch.
There's not here. But like you said, but like what you just said was, we had 20 years of downtime. Now we're playing catch up.
That's correct.
Just good and bad. We can make these things happen at our pace to hopefully make it to where we don't tax our citizens to death, but also give us a way to where we can make this happen to where the growth fits what we want to do in Sampson County.
That's correct.
And not overdo.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a good, we can make this balance is what I'm trying to say. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good? Give me a thumbs up. We're good.
It is now dinner time.
Back in and running. Had our break. She started, what did it take her long to hit that button?
Never out of order.
I just told him that. I don't remember taking it out.
So, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, this is a little bit different in that relations and connections, it applies to the things that government does that's not necessarily associated with every department. It spans all departments. So part of what you'll see in some of these goals is how you communicate with the public and with others. So with that having been said, here you go, red table.
Through the local chamber of commerce or other local nonprofit, support efforts to recognize a man of the year, woman of the year, and a civic honoree of the year. Use existing or new channel tools and technologies to connect, engage, and communicate with residents and important audience groups with helpful, accurate, and relevant information.
That's good. Yes.
Create and sustain opportunities to connect with community members to educate about the county departments and topics, collect public input, and inspire constructive dialogue between staff and residents. Create an environment where residents feel respected and engaged in county government decisions. Through the local cooperative extension service, FSA and other agencies honor those who have achieved excellence within the agricultural community. Designate a county commissioner liaison to the two boards of education, the community college, the business community, and the agricultural community. Establish a Sampson elected officials roundtable which meets regularly to discuss local issues and leverage talent and resources to solve them.
I'll be honest, and they're all good, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do any of this.
Don't cost nothing.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce is currently doing basically a business
They do
person of
that.
the year.
They're doing
They're
that.
doing that now.
Yeah.
They do it.
But that's a business person of the year, not necessarily a person of the year.
Yes, business.
You have to have a business.
Uh,
Use existing or new channel tools and technology.
I say yes on that.
Engage and
All they do
communicate with
is ask us to come into knowledge and just to be there.
and important audience groups with helpful, accurate, and
Well, you know,
information.
we know for a fact that we have some budget constraints coming up
Oh,
because they just said we used over $11 million of balance funds. I'd like to see more information posted on Facebook through the county's Facebook posting of where we stand so that residents will know that these challenges exist so that the solutions to those problems will be easier to digest as the time approaches.
Create an environment where residents feel respected and engaged in county government decisions.
I mean, we need people to know these things because at the end of the day, it's their county government at
On
work.
our webpage, not Facebook.
The county government has a county government Facebook page that it posts important information. Some of this information needs to be used or posted on the county-operated Facebook page.
I think
Ms. Jean, do we have Instagram and Twitter as well, or X, or whatever it's called?
We do have Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But Instagram has not been actually used a lot. We're still in the initial
Put the
stage.
Valentine's
of
stuff on
collecting,
there.
like,
It's all on
graphics and
Facebook.
stuff like that. But we already registered.
Poultry workshop.
Yeah, anybody can read it. Yeah. So let's put this one.
Create an environment, yeah, where residents feel respected and engaged in county government
Agency
decisions.
services, they put their stuff over there. And it's good.
I just would like to see people more knowledgeable about the fact that the county's in a financial crunch right now. A lot of people don't realize it. Even people that I have talked with in public about these things that I would thought would be more informed, other business people, they seem to be surprised when I tell them that we're spending $11 million out of contingency fund because we didn't have enough money to balance the budget.
Well, it wasn't announced, it wasn't told to anybody.
Well, we needed to tell it. I mean,
I agree,
that needed
but
to be
that
told.
wasn't-
That's not something we need to keep hidden behind closed doors.
No, not at all.
All agree?
All agree. I think create sustained opportunities to connect with community members to educate about county departments and topics, collecting public input and inspiring constructive dialogue between staff and residents. That goes back to your two buildings over here, your building across over here where you got your public works has to be staff and residents. I mean, you can go on and on. The dialogue needs to be warm, welcome. They are citizens, taxpayers, but also people who are spending their hard-earned dollars within our county when they're buying went over there at the board, daggone it. And with economic boards or whatever across the road over here, when they're getting the permits and everything. Just went blank, y'all, I'm sorry. But planning, yeah, thank you. But when they're over there getting permits and stuff, I mean, they need to be welcomed and feel like we got a concern.
Customer service.
That's it.
Yeah.
We need very good
initiated all over the county.
Yep, throughout in every department.
That's important.
So I say yes. That's one that we got to work on.
Say nothing, I didn't hear you back there. You still thinking?
No, I'm thinking, and what I'm thinking about is going to incorporate something different, and I think it's going to come down. But I think right now, more than anything, we need to build relationships among county employees and across county departments.
Yeah.
And we as a board need to be creative in how we foster that. You know, if we have somebody comes up with good cost savings, maybe we need to, give them a couple of days of annual leave or whatever, something that's not going to put us in an additional financial bind, but something that gives them a little motivation. But I think we need to work on ways to enhance that if the morale is high among county employees, the customer service is going to be high.
That was what my focus was when I was trying to nominate somebody to be Employee of the Year, Employee of the Month, because the more you recognize people for what they do, the more work you're going to get out of them. Because I know when I was working here, you heard about all your mistakes, but you didn't hear about the good stuff you did. I do 1,000 cases and never hear how perfect or how good that was. If I did one and made a mistake, I always heard it. So
maybe put down, we need to do a county employee of the month.
Yes, well, social service does it very well.
Employee recognition.
Employee recognition.
They got a program that they work
that's what we
to recognize. But,
employee recognition.
yeah, but across the county, I don't think it's like that.
Commissioners, in terms of your own internal staff, you actually have some things about what you're talking about right now that are under excellent government.
Okay.
That would,
So relations and connections.
That's more internal, whereas this is external.
That's more
External, yes.
this would be out to the citizens.
Might just tear it up.
I still finish my sentence.
This would be to the citizens.
Yeah.
I would like to see this because
Now what does it say?
y'all got snookered on that one time already. I want to make sure we're all on the same page when we're doing things. Whether it's, and it can be different county commissioners. We could all have one of these particulars that we want to do.
Yeah.
And then one can go to the Clinton board, one can go to the board at Sampson, to the meetings and stuff. One can do work on the business side. One can do the community college, which is when they have a board meeting, we show up and the ag community. I mean, we can make that work. That's not a hard, and it doesn't cost, it's going to involve us committing a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to tell you.
But it doesn't cost a lot.
No.
It just costs time. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not the one designated for Sampson County Schools due to conflict.
Exactly. I agree.
I want to be above board.
Okay. Well, this is a good idea.
I mean, like, he could do Clinton.
Yeah.
He's here in Clinton. You're here in Clinton all the time. And then the Board of Education, we could pick someone to do that one, and the ag side, I mean, we could make things work out. I mean, those are simple things. That just make good government sense.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind stopping in at Clinton City Council every now and then.
These are some of
They're
the
already
hardest
doing that, I think.
working people in the county. You got that up there?
Commissioners, along with the one you just put up, one thing that's been done other places is the liaison actually would attend regularly that other board meeting and develop relationship, and then report back to this board about the types of things that they had learned.
That's kind of what we said.
5 minutes.
Establish a Sampson County Elected Officers Roundtable, which meets regularly. Now, that would be, I'm going to ask this, is this on your roundtable, just like retired roundtable folks? Is this any elected official that has been?
One thing that's been done in other places is you would pick a restaurant or a place and you have dinner together socially, and then just a round table where everyone can express the things that they're facing. And it's kind of like a brainstorming group among elected officials. It's normally not the whole boards. It would be the mayor and somebody, 2 or 3 people, a couple of commissioners. That could mix up, from one meeting to the next, so everybody has a chance to go. Or if it's all 5 of you, you certainly could go. It just have to be advertised.
Right. So that's kind of like, if you walk into a country store, you're in this to start with. I can go ahead and tell you.
Yes, parties in the morning at 5 a.m. or McDonald's at 5 a.m.
You're in it.
You're kind of doing this already. That just kind of makes sure that it's, once again, intentional.
I think you have a grist mill.
That you schedule time to do it.
I think it's a good deal. I think they're already, corporate extension's already doing something like that. They're honoring, it's like we go to the Ag Day they got down there.
Yeah.
They recognize people at that.
They are. You're right.
And that one kind of overlaps with what we talked about.
With the Agri Expo Center,
They do it well.
well, my question is, at DuPont Event Center, they bring in some known name attractions. What could we get what would enhance our people to bring more acts in for more revenue, stuff like that?
Ideas, and that would be reach out to her and say,
I
hey,
want to see them as self-sufficient as possible. If they can enhance their by bringing in some of these acts.
We used to do that.
I know we need to get more back into that, especially. And it would also have a twofold with the tourism surrounding counties. Not that we'd be the major destination or anything, but it's just like a bunch of our residents go over to the DuPont Event Center when they have a concert, or the Lou Mill Vineyards down in Bladen when they have someone come in. But I think we need to help them become more self-sufficient by encouraging them to coordinate more stuff like that.
Ag Expo, just put down there, Ag Expo to become more self-efficient through
Program revenue.
I got it. I like the revenue part. That's what I was trying to get around to putting something in there about revenue. We're gonna finish this one up.
2 minutes.
Is everybody good after that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get a thumbs up after he gets done writing.
Help Civic Center.
Encourage Ag Center. To
do
generate
more
more,
programming.
to generate more revenue, program revenue.
Yeah. That's it, program revenue.
Ooh, Lord, I know that one.
Oh, my.
Hey, hurt me a bit.
I heard that funny bone when it hit.
Yeah.
Shook the whole building.
I'm glad it wasn't mine, that's all I can
That's
say.
He's awake now. Okay, very good. All right, y'all good with that?
Yes, sir.
Thumbs up?
All right.
Ready to move?
Commissioners, you're at your last table, the pink table. As you move over, let me tell you, this is also a little bit of a different table than some of the ones you've hit so far. In that this can cover some broad topics. You know, if you're talking about public education, you're talking about just the school systems, the library, you're talking about public education. Here, excellent government is excellent government. So it can be fairly broad. And because of that, you have a lot more of these sentence strips than you've had at any other table. So, and you may have more ideas than you've had at any other table. And that's okay. Once again, there's no limit as to what you can put up here, okay? So go ahead and we stand by to assist.
Implement innovative technologies and strategies that support staff's efforts to deliver high-quality, effective services to residents, customers, and stakeholders. Ensure the security and safety of government IT systems to protect the county workforce, citizens, personal information, and public data from cyber attack.
Put that one up there right now.
Right, that's you're right.
You may put it up.
Create a culture in which the highest level of customer service is the goal of every
That was
employee.
second.
Establish economy, efficiency, and effectiveness as a cultural cornerstone of county government. Ensure that county departments are staffed at a level which allows the departmental mission to be fulfilled. Establish an employee recognition program which, through committee selection, honors the work of county employees on a quarterly and annual basis. Retain and recruit a well-trained, capable, and motivated county workforce. Explore methods to enhance grant awards to Sampson County through either in-house or contracted services. Maintain the county government's positive financial position, low tax rate, and credit strength. Celebrate the public servants of the county through set annual events as a means to retain highly qualified employees.
That's good. That's good.
Maintain effective and efficient fleet management by utilizing best practices concerning procurement, FRQs, etc.
That's kind of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So the cyber attack, we agreed we needed to do.
Everybody said that real quick.
And we all seem to like this one too.
I agree with that one.
Create a culture of customer service culture.
Everybody need to be on the same page.
Come on, Tate. Work, Tate, work. There we go.
I got you. Thank you.
Would this be the same as the one we were getting over there? This is different, ain't it? That was for the state. I meant for the county.
Yeah, this is the one we want to do over there. Right. Establish a employee recognition.
Want to do that over here.
Yeah.
That one is a grant deal.
The grant. That one.
I don't know why we've got all them people in the election building. There's 2 people over there, and that's a great thing. I got a problem, y'all.
Yeah. What was the next one?
Grants.
Grants, we need that.
Explore methods to enhance awards to Sampson County through either in-house or, so this is for like grant services?
Yeah, right, a grant writer.
Grant writer.
Let's add that to there because that wasn't clear to me from the start.
That's good.
Maintain effective efficiency, man. This one come from over there, they brought it over here.
Yep, that's the one we're talking about, establishing our own fleet services.
Yeah, that's this one that we
Fleet
brought from over there.
services, yeah.
So we know we want that one over here.
Because I think between social services, the sheriff's office, and to an extent, even the county school board.
Yeah, did we put this one on?
Hold on.
What is
This was the one that we were talking about for the county employee.
We just put that up, didn't we, on the recognition?
Yeah.
But this is establish an employee recognition program through
It's the
committee
same
selection.
thing, isn't it?
But this is celebrate the public servants of the county through set annual events. That would be like
That's
a
over
Christmas
there.
party or
Yeah.
something.
Hey, Commissioner, I'll give you an example of that when I wrote that. There's a national county month and week. So a lot of organizations will have County Government Week when we celebrate all the employees. In my experience, I believe department heads and commissioners that day become the servants. So we find somebody that's got access to a pig cooker. We do hot dogs, or some places we've gotten a pig donated, and we feed everybody.
We used to do that.
We come here and we celebrate. That does mean on one day, we shut down early for all county employees. We meet somewhere. There's been pickup softball games and all kinds of stuff, just to thank those public servants for a year's worth of work. Not something every month, but just
once a year.
one day.
Once a year.
Well, not even a whole day, like part of a day once a year.
We
That's
did
right.
that lunchtime.
And of course,
About
yes.
an hour or two.
A
You remember it,
a
right?
Christmas party or something like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
We had it in the summertime, had it right out there under them trees there. It was nice. You gotta move this camera.
I'll tell you, this is a given, y'all, to me. Maintain the county government position. and
Maintain the county government's positive financial position, low tax rate, and credit strength.
Oh, yeah.
That's
If you're not sure about that one,
We're not doing our job if we're not sure about it.
and that one kind of was like, okay, you got to put this here.
Yeah, that should have probably been the first on the list. Up there, but
Rest of them we've kind of talked about.
A little bit.
Retaining recruits and ensure that county departments are staffed. We're doing that.
Yeah.
But I want to, but that one goes back to what goes on over at the Veterans Affairs, where she didn't have enough help. And then you got some departments got more than they need, I think, but it is
I
what
like
it is.
seeing when there's higher positions available to try to recruit, promote from within.
I agree. That's what we've done.
Yeah,
We've been very efficient with that too, I think.
Yeah, we
I'm
always
gonna
do
throw
that.
one out for you.
Okay.
I think they had implemented a program about 2 years ago where department heads were encouraged to attend the UNCW leadership development. I think we need to focus not only on senior level management development, but we also need to work on some senior or supervisory level training and enhancement development. I think when you put some programs together, even if it means trying to get somebody from school of government to come down here to put on a 2 or 3 day seminar for us, or programs like UNCW or whoever may put one on. But I think one of the biggest liability concerns we have, and I'm going to drag him back, we have folks who are in supervisory positions that are our first line in dealing with employee issues. And if they mishandle it, then it creates additional issues that eventually come back to us. So I think we need to go ahead and bite the bullet there and invest in a little on the front end in developing these supervisors, because the most training a lot of people get is when they're hired, they're told what their job is, and then they're they're just left there.
That's right.
And we need to develop
happens.
them more. And if you do that, you're going to contribute to your customer service, and you're going to aid in the liability management part of it.
I agree.
Yeah. Write that
You
down.
want to write that in the
Write that
on
down.
the sheet?
Yeah.
You're right, all departments don't have that. DSS has that with the training. Yeah, they go once a year. Yeah.
3-day training.
The sheriff department should have that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they send people to.
But all departments.
They send somebody all the time.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of departments that
Just
don't.
a lot of them do.
Yeah,
Because
but a lot of
I
departments.
work with
It's
3 or
kinda like
4 of
what
them, and they
you
do.
do.
They have a 3-day training.
I don't
away
see that
from
happen to
the
anyone
office,
else
like
in
in
South
Raleigh.
Carolina.
Where
Right.
everybody that do what you do meet together,
Yeah.
and you can,
Pick each other's brain.
Yeah, pick each other's brain, and you be so motivated when you come back home to share it with the rest of you, the people, and they don't want it.
Well, and I'm going to go a step further with this. The problem that we have is sometimes we have folks that are they're so interested in getting a raise that they apply for a position that they're, one, not prepared for, and two, they don't know what it entails. By having people start training
That's right.
and getting stuff, then we're going to end up with supervisory people who are in the position for the right reasons.
Am I hearing part of this too is as far as not only that supervisory role, but cross-training between different positions too?
Can
Yes,
staff-
that needs to take place even from the beginning.
Or succession planning.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold on, put that on there.
You gonna go right on the thing? Do another one?
In the case of our legal department, which has one person, our lawyer should succession plan by teaching himself how to be a good lawyer
There you go.
when he decides to stop. He can take over.
I think if you plan on leaving, the succession plan, better be let somebody know a year ahead. I don't do this again.
I might have misspelled it, but I apologize ahead of time.
Including time appointments for staff for a double for 2
Well,
hours to the department.
crash courses I
Commission
need.
to be fulfilled. Because your mission gonna be fulfilled through training in the right level. Retain
Excellent
and
government.
recruit a well-trained, capable, and motivated county workforce. That would be like supervisors, subordinates, and workers.
Some of that I think goes with the retaining, like the appreciation and stuff.
Have we done any, we did the staff pay study and everything. Pay aside, have we done a study on employees, on the little things that encourage them to stay here, what can we do? It's always a lot of little things.
Benefits package you're talking about?
No, not necessarily the benefits package, but in the work environment, what encourages you to stay? Is it the supervisor who's supportive? Is it the supervisor who develops you? What have we identified? The people that we've been able to retain, what encourages them to stay there so that we can focus on some of those efforts too to move forward?
Industry-wide, there are some things that we know encourages people to stay. An organization can conduct exit interviews to find out why people say they're leaving. which may or may not be the truth and why they're leaving. But there are some things. Number one is a living wage, which you've already addressed for most positions, not all positions perhaps, but for most. So a living wage so people can meet the needs of their life. The second thing is a culture of appreciation, letting people know that they're appreciated, not taken for granted. And part of that culture is also, I think, communication and inclusive decision-making, which is not possible in every department. And case in point, the sheriff's office is a paramilitary organization. If the sheriff asked 30 of his employees before he did everything, that would be the wrong thing to do. But if you have a department with supervisors, if they're able to have a staff meeting with the department head and discuss what's coming forward, and especially around budget time, discuss the things that they're facing together, then that communication is also something that's been shown to keep employees because they feel like they're part of a team and they're not kept in the dark and not fed any information. Other than that, other things I think are less effective, but one thing that is effective, honestly, is having a good working environment. So if you are in a really decrepit building, have no heating system, no air conditioning system, then and every single day you're hot, cold, or wet, and for an office worker, that's not really conducive. Not that we have only office workers, but in the field, my experience is if you have field personnel that don't have the equipment they need to do their job, and they see other departments like water departments that don't have a track hoe, another place has a track hoe. If it would make their job easier, quicker, better, more efficient to do, making sure they have up-to-date equipment that doesn't break every day. Those types of things have been shown to help retain employees.
So I guess what we need to hear on excellent government is we need to make sure that our employees and our department heads have sufficient amount of input in some of our decision making. As far as like what you just said, if this will help make their job easier, make them better, I want to know that. I want that opportunity.
Lines of communication.
Yeah.
So for instance, in the department head survey that I did, that was shared back with all department heads, and it was shared with you. So they had input. They had input into giving you information in advance of this meeting. But open lines of communication, that all really falls under effective supervisory practices, which you've talked about. So if you have supervisors that need training, then part of having a highly effective workforce is to make sure that there's a training program for the people that are decision makers and supervisors in the organization. And supervisors in that sense includes department heads.
Thank you.
They used to have a exit interview at DSS. I don't know whether they still do or not, but I believe you really do get some answers that are true. Because people, what's they got to lose? You don't have. I'm leaving. I'm gonna tell you what I think about what's going on in the place, so somebody else will know it and they can fix it. But it wasn't fixed while I was here, so maybe they can fix it later. So I believe that really do give you, a knowledge of what's really happening, where you wouldn't hear it otherwise.
One other thing, and I know I'm taking another moment of your time, but I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't say this. When a person feels pride in the organization that they're a part of, then they're also more apt to stay.
That's fine.
And pride comes from making sure that the organization has the right values. So I could give you a list of those. I have another exercise around values, but it's what your personal values would be. Values are demonstrated and put into place from the top. So values start with the elected officials, and we can do that exercise too another night. But normally it can boil down to less than 10 values. And I'll tell you one of them: treat other people as you want to be treated. So in the absence of an SOP, where something's written out that you have to follow this procedure, you default to the values of the organization. And if people believe that this organization has the right heart and the right values and is doing all they can, they will be more likely, you will be more likely to retain those people before they try to see what's greener on the other side of the fence. That grass is greener over there, because I've heard my friends say they treat their people right.
Thank you.
Very good.
I think we're good.
Y'all good?
Yeah, Where are we rolling to
next?
Thumbs up. Give me a thumb, woman.
Commissioners, stand up if you would. We're going to do 15 push-ups, 12 jumping jacks.
You're done.
Captain has agreed to lead us in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're done with your chairs for right now. All right, so we're going to slide them over to the side.
Okay.
And we're going to go back to the first place that you began. Back here at growth and infrastructure. So now is the part you've been waiting for. That's it, my coat right there. Now is the part you're waiting for. I'd like for you, we're going to do the same thing, okay? We've been all the way around the room. Okay, here's where the rubber meets the road. Right now, up until now, it's been brainstorming, it's been thinking of new things, and it's been critiquing what prompts have been left for you. And now you get these little puppies right here, okay? These are your votes. These are your priorities as an individual commissioner. So, the way we figure out this, there's actually a formula. It is the number of items that you have divided by the number 3. And if you're a little short, we give you that one extra. So 9 items divided by 3, you get 3 dots. You have 8 items here, we still gave you 3 dots. Your assignment in this section is to pause in silence, okay? Refresh yourselves. We did this a couple hours ago. All right, what did you pick right here? And then, after you look at it, you only get 3, and you can only put 1 dot per item individually. So, the chairman has his. He would say, hypothetically, I like 1, 2, 3. I like these 3. I don't even know what they are, but just say these 3. I'm going to put 1 dot, 1 dot, 1 dot. I'm done. And each of you do that as well. What this exercise seeks is, among the things most important to all 5 commissioners, by the time you finish placing your dots, staff has an idea that if this one, for instance, form and sustain partnerships with local municipalities, if 5 dots end up here, that meant all 5 of you thought this was very important. If no other item got 5 dots, then in the area of growth and infrastructure, this is your number 1 goal. If something got 4 dots, maybe that came in second. If 3 dots, 2 dots, only 1 dot, 1 dot means it was important to one of you. Okay? What if it has no dots? It's still a goal. It made it to the wall. Unless, while you're standing here and you're refreshing yourselves, you say, I just don't think we need to maintain an efficient vehicle fleet. And you turn to one another and say, I know we all agreed to earlier, I cannot live with that being on the wall. We have got to take that off. And then you make that argument amongst yourselves. All right? But if generally you're satisfied with what this is, in any order you want, not even one at a time, y'all can pile on, okay? You spend your 3 dots. And then you go to the next table. Now the next table, just to show you, remember you combine these 2 items. So we are saying that these 2 items is 1 item. With your permission, I'll squish this together and reword it as 1 item. But this is really 1, 2, 3, 4. So now here you have 4 items. You get 2 dots. Okay, so you pick your top 2. And we go all the way around the room.
and you do this for every table. There's no time limit on this, okay? We want you to be thoughtful because you only have those dots unless you can manage to scrape it off the wall and reuse it. And you can do that too, okay? All right, any questions?
The color
Yes, sir.
doesn't mean anything.
The color does not mean anything.
The color green means number one, and then purple.
It's not a bad question. I'm thinking the same thing when you first said it.
Purple is least important.
That's right. That's right. I actually did this one time and did not specify. You could only put one dot per item.
Yeah.
And somebody just really felt strongly about that item. And they had a lot. There was like 20 different things. So they had like, 7, 8 different dots, something like that. They put every single dot on that one item. So I had to stop that. Okay, y'all got it? All good? Thank you. Go ahead.
Jim on that one. Is there something that y'all want off of this board? If it's something you want off, we need to know that something. These two kind of almost go together. I'm sorry.
You got 3 dots. You got 3 dots. You got 3 dots, yeah.
Sorry.
You got 3 of them.
I don't think they do that, they just look at the dots.
Just count the
Yeah.
dots.
If you wanted them to know, you could initial it, I guess.
Right now, Commissioner Godwin is in the lead. Whoever finishes first gets another round.
Oh, Lord, I'm gonna make sure I be last.
He's down there.
these two possibly be combined?
I think we're missing some stickers for this table over here. Jeff?
Yes, sir.
We're missing some stickers for relations and.
They're on the windowsill.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, here they are.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see those.
That's okay.
You only got one for here.
You only get one for this one. Get one?
You only get one.
Did y'all both do 2 dots on this one? Oh, it was, okay, here's, so you get 2 dots over there. And you get 1 dot here. And we know which one you did because there were, well, do we? You had a green one and a blue one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the ones that go with the purple
We-
sentence strips were the same color.
We didn't know they were on the windowsill, I'm sorry. So on this one, it's just 1 apiece on this one. Yeah. Commissioner Godwin, which one did you do?
I put 2 dots over there.
You did?
I put
Okay.
2 dots over there.
You don't get one.
I get one.
You get 1 dot, and you get 2 dots on that one.
Cross out.
Well, I can peel it off. Was this yours?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know only 2 of y'all have been through this station, and there were 2 dots on each one. So I think you get you get a dot back. Did you put 2 dots over there?
Yeah, I put 2 over there.
Okay, give me that dot. You get it right there. Okay, did you get a second dot? You got 2 dots.
You
Okay.
put a dot over here. Well, I had 2 dots on
I put 1 dot.
Okay. You're right here.
I put the blue dot.
Okay. See,
The green
they not the 2 over
The
here.
green dot's not supposed, the green dot's supposed to be over here, I think.
It was, but we just swapped dots.
Okay, okay.
Still the right number of dots.
Okay.
You did that.
Well, wait, remember?
She was here. She was there.
I'm getting one.
These on the dust?
Take it home.
Use 1 dot.
Man, every single batch.
You got 2 on that one, and you get 2 dots on that one.
You get 3 dots.
No,
here.
I'm good.
That's the only one left.
Yep, you got 2 dots on this one. And you get 3 on that one.
I need another dot. I got one, remember we got shorted one.
Commissioner Godwin?
You need that copy?
Thank you.
You very welcome. You very welcome. I saved it.
Here you go.
You don't need another one, right?
No, you're good. You're good.
That's my extra dot.
Your extra dot.
Okay.
Well, I'm not putting a lot of weight on it. I'm gonna get it right now.
Just say it out.
We'll laugh, yeah.
Just say it out.
I would ask if you're okay.
You got your 3 there.
I got my 3 over there.
Okay.
I did. I did keep it.
I know.
See how long we're
20 minutes.
No, I have to go back.
Don't see it again.
I have to go back to the list over. Let's see.
That's the top priority.
It's really interesting right here.
3 dots, 3 dots. And 3 dots.
3 of them. Oh,
We get 3 here?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I didn't have a glasses on. Yep, we'll have to break one.
Okay, we're gonna get 5 more of white. Okay. You're still working on that one? Get 10. 10, or a whole sheet's fine. All right, we're getting down to the short road now, y'all.
What is the one of those for?
Tiebreakers.
Tiebreaker. Okay. Has everyone gone around the room one time and put your dots? All right. Let's gather back over here to safe community. Okay. I'll work up there, work up to that. But on growth and infrastructure, we have 1 with 4, so we have a top candidate there. Public education, we've got 1 with 5, so we've got a top goal there. Not candidate, but goal. Safe community, we have a 4-way tie for first place. Healthy community, we've got number 1, that's no problem. And by the way, I'm not seeking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm just seeking the top one, okay? Relations and connections, you've got 1 with 4, so we don't need to do anything else there. Economic development, you've got 2 with 3, so we're gonna have another tiebreaker there. And then over in excellent government, we have 2 with 4. All right, so let's start here, and you all get a new color. So this is your second round of voting. This is your white dot. Okay, so it'll stand out from any others. There are 4. Can I have a marker, please? That is not moving. There's a lock on it somewhere. Share that leg right there. Pop that tab up to be on mine. Okay, let's move over here. Thank you.
Now I need oxygen, I just breathe.
Okay, so I'm going to put a star on the ones that you're allowed to vote on. Okay, so that one has 3. That one has 3. This is all 1.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one, and then this one has 3. Okay, so now you have a tie of 4. Please vote using your white dots on one of the 4 to hopefully establish a number 1 here. Okay? Here's economic, you're fine, by the way, on healthy community. You have a number 1. You've got 4 dots on relations and connections, so you've got a number 1. Economic development, you have a tie. Vote on the stars. Here are your 5 dots on the end of the table.
Here it is.
Thank you, Commissioners. You have a tie in excellent government. So I've starred the 2 that you have a tie on that each had 4 apiece. So please use your dots to vote on a tiebreaker.
I'm sorry. That's the first thing we gotta do.
eventually.
That's right.
The grants will feed us.
That's right.
Commissioners, if you've broken a tie, well, I'm sorry, Vice Chairman, you go ahead.
You're not allowed.
It's gotta be one of the two or something.
Anything following the rules.
It's still too long today.
Okay. Commissioners, thank you for breaking the tie. We now have a number one in each focus area. Commissioners, if I could get you to stand right over here with me. Kind of line up. Play along.
Now you got to put it in the fire squad.
Captain, it's time. Okay, so what have you done tonight? You've looked at the focus areas of government and everything that you touch. You have worked on establishing goals inside those focus areas. All of this, by the way, is to eat an elephant one bite at a time. If I simply said, Commissioners, tell me your goals for county government, you would have absolutely remembered something like 911 communications is dependent on one tower that can go down in a hurricane, or something like that. You would not have remembered everything that's written on the wall. Okay? So this gives us a more complete picture of how you want your county to run and where your priorities are. But up until now, it has been by focus areas. It has not been county-wide. So this is your last portion of this exercise. And I pulled out thanks to the clerk, I pulled out the big guns. Here is your seal, sir.
County seal.
You get one sticker for the entire room. Now, this is not a group exercise. This is you individually, okay? You don't have to go to a table altogether. Do not put a sticker on the wall right now. I'd like for you to just walk around the room. We're going to set a 5-minute timer. At the end of 5 minutes, after you've refreshed yourself on the whole room, we're going to ask that you cast your golden sticker, kind of like the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Okay? Your golden sticker for the item that you believe that your constituents would want you to say, I want this focus. All right? And it's anything in the room. Anything at all in the room. Anywhere. And there's no wrong answer, okay? Because all of you as a board, you've already said that if it's on the wall, it was a goal. So everything is a legitimate goal of government. You're now giving an indication to all of staff that for your constituency, this is very important. And by the way, I'll give you one way to make it easier. If you see that a golden sticker is already on something that you're completely passionate about, you can consider that taken care of. And you can use your golden sticker for another item. So I'm looking for between 1 and 5 items out of everything in the entire room. Okay? So it just is added emphasis for us as we move forward. Does that help that you can put 5 gold ones on establish and foster public-private partnerships. But if Vice Chair, your golden sticker's here, and you say, well, Commissioner Godwin says, all right, that one's taken care of. So I'm going to go to one that no one's done yet. Okay? Please, let's start the timer now. Do not sticker until the end of 5 minutes. You're on your own.
You want this move somewhere else? Yeah, that's fine. Right there's good.
Oh, it's so dry. It's not that.
But it's not.
Yeah.
They create a lot of trust with the boards of education.
Dip it out. That one. See, I thought we were ready for the public education roll on. No, you know, you take out individual ones. Go ahead, put your sticker on that. Sit down.
It's musical church.
What's closest to your heart?
It would be, but there's nothing that's so important.
The star one, where it is.
That's
5 minutes?
There you go.
5 minutes? Is that it?
That's your 1 minute warning.
We gonna do just $1, or are we gonna do the whole balance?
Sound like Joker. That's the question.
Some people just wager.
How much you wager? You feel lucky. Now, we still got time.
Wager $1, then the question would be, who was the 16th president? Then you
That
should
would be my Lord.
Then you should wager the whole thing.
That's everything we do.
That's who we are.
Time's up.
Okay, commissioners, if you're ready, please make your selection.
Take care of that. Take care of that. You're making it tough on me. I guess I could put one with it. They should.
He said no.
Well, he said you can if you want to.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Something I am. We don't, we're gonna, if I don't, I'm gonna feel bad.
You can do two on the
Yes, sir.
same one like that. I thought we did. Underline that.
Back to our chairs, don't get none. When you're all done, you can come back and sit in your chairs. Commissioners, thank you. These are the top 5 things that commissioners have voted for with your golden sticker. Connect areas experiencing PFAS contamination to the county's potable water system. Establish a funding formula for public K-12 education that creates budget certainty, strengthens relationships, negotiated and jointly adopted between the county and the 2 school districts. Establish funding for the community's fire department sufficient to maintain individual missions of each fire department. And establish processes for establishing fire tax district rates. And we've got one with 2. Maintain the county government's positive financial position, low tax rate, and credit strength. And that one had 2 on it, so that's a total of 5. Commissioner Godwin has 1 blue dot on him. That means you're a goal as well, I think. So, okay, we're at the point in the agenda where you have actually completed the main thing for this evening, the main event, which was establishing goals, prioritizing them, and over 3 rounds of your selection, we have the top goals in each focus area and the 5 top things out of all focus areas and all goals that the board wants to be addressed. So that you know, as I said as we began this, we will take as staff this into budgeting with us. So when we're looking at putting funding towards something, or when we're looking at establishing our priorities and the things that need to happen this year, because it's not all about money, okay? Some of it is about policy. So establishing a funding formula between us and the school systems is establishing policy and negotiation. But it is now at the top of the list. Whatever the dollar amount is all part of budgeting. But this is policy setting, really. We've done pretty much everything, except there's just a couple of things left. One is, Mr. Chairman, to look at the room as a whole, which you've had 3.5 hours in here now with us. Thank you for your time. You are doing the work that you were elected to do. And so thank you for that. Overall, if the commissioners by consensus are happy with the way things have gone, then what staff will do is write up all this writing. This will be typed up in a document and brought back to you at a future meeting where you can vote upon this. But before we leave here tonight, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to know if it is in fact the consensus of the board that we have done the work on the walls and that staff should proceed to putting this in a votable format.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to that effect.
Okay.
Second.
There's a motion. And it's been received, all in favor? So
Thank you.
carries.
Thank you, sir. We will take everything on the walls, put it into a format that will officially and formally bring back to you for adoption. So these are the goals of Sampson County government with priority areas identified. Okay? So now we're moving into one other thing that we have, and that is item 3, commissioner comments. And before adjournment, I have one announcement for the board. So, Mr. Chairman, we're at commissioner comments.
Anybody got anything you'd like to say?
Well, I truly enhanced by what we have seen here today, because it made us think on what we need to go before the budget comes. And to elaborate on what we think is the highest agenda. So that was very good. I enjoyed that.
This is what it takes to come up with a workable budget that's gonna be satisfactory to us and to our constituents. You know, we didn't just rush into anything. We went through what you had written, and we meditated over it, I'm sure, and we came up with, I think all of us came up with the best possible solution that we could.
I'd also like to say I feel like that this board is working together, and that I think each of us as a commissioner have the best interest of the county at heart.
I agree.
I think this method was effective, and I think it should be used more often going down the road with other issues that we may face. It's a lot different sitting on that dais 5 where you're controlled, whereas in here, you're able to communicate more freely with one another, bounce ideas off. You're still in a public forum, but you're able to work through things, and it, not constrained by the limits of a meeting.
And most of all, I want to thank you and the staff for putting all this together, because it has been, I think, educational and eye-opening for all of us, especially myself. In your several years, this is the first time I really thought we really dove into a budget, and I appreciate this opportunity. And for those that are involved at home and everywhere else listening, I want them to understand that we told them where we want to work, and this is the first step of what we're going to do to achieve what this county needs. And it's going to take a whole lot of your time and y'all's time, and we got to listen to what people tell us. As you say, when we're at the store or wherever we're at, I mean, those people are voters, and they're ones that we have to lean on to listen to. Now, sometimes they're not as well educated, and I want to be able for us 5, when we sit with these people, to be able to give them truthful answers that really fit what's going on within our county. And I think this is the first process of getting started in that, and I appreciate it a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I appreciate all your comments. I would like to commend staff who've worked very hard in both the data gathering. Melissa, thank you for your presentation on where we stand. And that brings me to one of my announcements. A couple of you had left some pads up here, so I want to make sure that you get those back. But also, now is the time that we will pass out the presentation packages, unless we've already done that and I missed it. There they are, right there. So you'll have the data that we went over at the beginning of the meeting, the charts and graphs, the comparisons of different counties, and also everything that Melissa presented. You'll have that as well. Thank you. Okay? Then the last thing I have for you is just an envelope. Commissioner? Yes, sir. So if you would, that's correspondence from me to take home with you. It's not part of this meeting, but while you were all here, I need to give that to you. So that, for the benefit of the public, that is a draft job description for your permanent county manager, because part of my job is to help guide you through the right steps to take in securing your permanent manager, who hopefully will continue things like this tonight and involve everyone in the decision-making process and give you good information. So the first step before advertisement and anything else is establishing a good job description that meets all of your needs. Okay, Mr. Chairman, that is all staff has. We're ready to do anything else you want us to do this evening, but that's all we've got unless there's something that y'all need.
Well, I just want to say it one more time. The job is not finished. We're just getting started. And it's a long way to go, and really a short time to get there. So we just will be prepared to come back. We got to start working on hiring someone, and that's going to be with us. It's not going to be, it'll be us 5. We'll hire the next county manager for Sampson County. So be prepared. You got a hard and continuing job ahead. Anything else? I will take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn and reconvene, February 3rd?
February what?
Just to.
Oh, just adjourn.
Just adjourn.
Just adjourn tonight.
Yeah.
I got a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Commissioners.